spaceship. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Yeah. Find me with my dogs in my solitude. Watch my family grow from 4 to a multitude. Been living it below sea level, finna rise to another altitude. Been searching, seeking knowledge, but all the time I had the aptitude. I flipped my mindset to the switch to say I will not lose. Mama said them sticks and stones won't break my bones, I never bruise. Whenever it come to trouble, man, the girls pull a tongue, we always cruise. I heard other dog owners get it out for me, but it ain't no news. I got 4 in the dough in Memphis so they can get the blues. If you need a few clues, they'll blow off your under rules. Send your compliment to the new girls I got coming through. Send your compliments to the new girls I got coming through. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. Yeah. What up, what up, what up? Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE. It really don't matter which one it be. Yeah, it's your boy, Jada King Hefner and the beautiful Cali Sun back in the house for another live stream, baby. And what is the title of today's show? Is human relationships are mostly temporary. Human relationships are mostly temporary. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not trying to come at this from some negative angle. Oh, forget all humans. Never date a human. They are all bad. Leave them alone. No. Oh, let me take this out. I didn't mean to keep them on. I don't need them right now. But yeah. I didn't mean that to say, hey, all human relations are bad. Leave them alone. Stay away. No, because like I told you, I'm not with talking the negative, speaking the negative over your life and all of this razzmatazz bull crap. Because I told you, whatever your true desires of your heart is, hey, look, put it before God, believe it's going to happen. And even in the relationship game, if that's truly a desire of your heart, hey, out of all these people out here, you can eventually find it. It could just be a whole bunch of work, to get there. It's just the way it's made up, man. Sometimes people find somebody and never break up with them and die with them after they meet them in elementary. And most people don't go that route. They meet a ton of people in their lifetime and never stay with one person till the day they die. So this whole show, I'm not here to beat people up for dating human and all that. I'm just speaking about the just true nature of man. Pretty much on average, or not on average, but I just say for the most part, or that is on average, you don't meet somebody and stay with them forever when you are in a human relationship. That just does not happen very often. And I'm not here to beat that aspect up. It's just one of those things that, everybody knows is a fact of life. Uh, but I am here to just state how, man, that is just one of the major things that you just don't have to think about in a companion doll lifestyle. Now, it's pros and cons to both lifestyles, and we'll get into that in just a second here. But I just wanted to kick off the subject matter for the night. But first of all, before we go too far, I always got to do this. God bless whatever you're hoping for, wishing for, health, finances, relationships, family problems, whatever's going on in your life. You need a promotion, uh, whatever you're looking for. Human relationship, synthetic relationship. We're praying that you already have it. Only thing you have to do is receive it, believe it, and guess what? God provided. So with all this said, I'm going to check in and see, get a couple of comments before I go too far. Power Brain in the house. What up, Power Brain? Taylor Barkley. What up, y'all? Good to see y'all, man. Great to have y'all here. Definitely want to say God bless my Dog King Army team. They back in full effect. The channel is back to 100% functionality. We did get, all the privileges reinstated yesterday, so I'm happy about that. So if you ever want to contribute during a live stream, you can do a super chat or super sticker if that's what you want to do. You can also do a PayPal or Cash App on my YouTube under the About section whenever you want to do that. And you can also give in my link for Biking for Companion Dogs, because I'll be doing biking biking shows from time to time, and is motivated by the whole idea of biking for companion dogs, trying to keep the channel funded and going. So without getting too off track, we can get back into the real deal. I got a little bot in here. Blocking him. Okay. Talia Barkley says, I have to ask you, where do you buy your hoodies? I notice you have every color. Excuse me. I'm going to be honest with you. I need actually more. I'm more like a Mr. Rogers, really. I got a certain amount of them, and I have to keep them washed. And a lot of the mostly though, I treat my hoodies like uniforms. You may see me in them doing my live streams, but usually right after that, I take them off, put on my little t-shirt and my little wife beat or whatever, and spend the rest of the day in that. I just sort of treat it like my uniform because I love hoodies. Uh, uh, and mostly, just to answer your question, I've gotten them offline, Amazon, Wish, things like that, because I really like those simple hoodies and things. And it's hard to find short sleeve hoodies, which I like wearing a long sleeve shirt under a short sleeve hoodie. It's sort of the same effect, but it's just more freedom, in my opinion. I like the dynamic a little bit better. Especially when you change colors and then you still got the black hoodie, black shirt underneath. So that's just my personal style. It's sort of like I always keep a hoodie on, even though I do like a lot of other type of shirts, polos and stuff like that I have. And if you look back at my earlier show, you'll see me wearing polos and everything. But my favorite look and just favorite thing to wear like 100% of the time is the short sleeve hoodie look. With my jeans and tennis shoes or whatever. And I wear it all year, really. I don't really get too hot for whatever reason. I swear, but I don't really get too hot in the summertime. So I can really wear these short sleeve hoodies all year round. They don't bother me where they bother some people. But like I said, I do dream of a day where, and I know it's going to happen, where I'm going to come in the overflow. Oh, no. What I was going to say was, I treat my short sleeve hoodies like my predecessor, Hugh Hefner, treated his smoking jacket. That's really why I wear them on the show all the time, because they're really like my smoking jacket. He wore the smoking jacket where I wear hoodies. I've even had a couple of people come to me asking me to do certain things or whatever, and might have asked me, hey, do this without the hoodie. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm Hefner. Hey, Hefner, if you want me, this is what you're gonna get. And if you don't want that, then guess what? You don't want me, because this is I'm a Hefner, man. And Hefners just, pretty much stick to their style and stick to their guns. So uh as far as the hoodies though, I was talking about coming in the overflow, because like we all pray for success and all this, but especially at the state that I am just right at this very moment, I do pray to come in the overflow where I can have a real array of these hoodies like I really want. Because like I say, right now, I'm more of a Mr. Rogers. I sort of try to pick me a good little outfit for the week, and hey, I keep putting my uniform on every time it's time for the show until that week is over with, and then I go to something else. But Mr. Rogers just had millions of the same thing. I don't have millions of the same thing like he did. Linkovich says, "Good morning, Jay. What up, Linko?" Italia Barkley says, also about relationships. I have a hard, I have horrible trust issues. Modern day relationships are fickle and are initiated on lopsided or non-existent values. The idea of having a dog brings me peace. Power Brain says you should sell hoodies. I want to get. I've been saying this for a while, but I do want to learn and be able to get me some merch up at some point. And I do want to do hoodies. I want to do coffee cups as well, because it's just something I really love to do. Drink me some coffee. But as far as the hoodies are concerned, I do want to see if I can get the right, maybe not the exact ones I have, but just a good, nice hoodie that I like. I don't want to just sell any old hoodie that somebody has to sell me. You know what I'm saying? I want a similar look as to the ones I have that I wear. And once again, I'm just gonna pray that God leads me, which I know He will, to the right people to find that type of stuff. And I have it available at some point. Power Brain. Yeah, he said with your logo. Yeah, with my logo. You'll see that JDKH somewhere on there. I actually would love to send me a couple of little shirts and stuff with me and Callie, or me and the girls, or either just the girls. So I'd be looking to get something like that developed in this next year. Uh, but about Italia Barclay's question, let's see, let's put it up here. Also about relationships, I have horrible trust issues. Oh, what about relationships? The thing about it is, I understand what you mean. I mean, in a way, it's good to have trust issues. You just can't let that go too far, because if you're gonna date, you can't go in there with these just preconceived, hangups. No matter what has happened to you in the past, that means you're already taking in some type of negative issue into the next thing. If you're gonna date, you got to just let that you got to be willing to just don't be dumb and forget the things you went through, but you got to be willing to just let that old stuff go. Now, if you're not willing to let that old stuff go, you know you're going to go into a new relationship. You're going to see problems. You're not going to realize that you're part of the problem because you're bringing in that old stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's not like it's something wrong with you. That's just a problem that most people deal with, because it's so hard to ignore uh, all the negative things that have happened to you in relationships and just life in general. But that's why I say you got to get into the practice of forgetting the past and looking forward to the future. Meaning that if you're gonna be ready for new blessings, you got to be ready to let that old stuff go, uh, and be willing to, you know, realize that the next person could be that they don't have to have all the faults and all this stuff that somebody else had. Just be aware of how somebody treated you, but try not to bring it in to the relationship. And I know that's a hard one to do, but you need to always still be aware, because when you do see somebody trying to do you wrong or take you down the same path, then that way you can bail the hell out of there before that happens. But you do need to have a clean slate, clean mind going into it. And it is something hard to do, and it's something that some people can't get past to go to new relationships. Uh, the good part is you are always going to protect yourself by having the trust issues. But the bad part is, you don't really start anything quite new. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just in a whole different state of mind now. But I know I was doing it almost on purpose before I got with my companion dogs. I was, I had trust issues myself, to be quite honest. Uh, and I think that was another thing that was keeping me from wanting to get into like a full relationship again. Because even when before my dogs, I wasn't really looking for a girlfriend. I was just looking for, people to hook up with and just have some good relationships and move on, honestly. Uh, but I'm in a whole different state of mind, spiritually, mentally, and all that type of stuff now. And when I think back about it, I'm just like, I didn't want that, so I'm cool with that. And I still really don't want that type of relationship, a long going, let me go with you relationship with a human. I said I wouldn't fight it, but I'm just not really looking for that, not the long term relationship type stuff. But I do say this: if I was to get with a human woman again, I would have to have that mentality of, hey, guess what? I know stuff have happened, but I can't take any of these, potential trust issues into that. I got to let that go and be ready for good things to happen in my life. Like you say, but when the signs happen, then that's when you got to get the hell out of there. And I'm gonna get on to the big subject of today's show, but we just talking about relationships, so all this is relevant. So then she goes on to say, modern day relationships are fickle and are initiated on lopsided or non-existent values. I do want to say this because I've said it before too, so I'm not trying to keep myself out of this, but I've sort of said it tongue in cheek, but in the back of my mind, I always knew it wasn't quite true. Meaning that a lot of us see these visions of the past and we think that these people back in the day had just greater values. And man, my grandmama and all these folks, yeah, they was better women and stuff back then. People was faithful back then. And I'm gonna be honest, different times, same results. We see things, right now and think that, oh man, they was so much worse. But folks was still cheating and doing all that mess behind folks back, even back in the day. It just wasn't the internet wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? You had wives cheating on husbands, husbands cheating on wives, all this other mess going on. Now, I say this particular society today has finally evolved to the point where a lot of people just aren't taking a plunge on marriage and stuff like that anymore. And although some people see that as sad, in a way, it's actually, I like I say, when you look at the construct of marriage and things of that nature, it's actually, not dumb. I tell you that it's not dumb. Because I'm not even a fan of marriage. Uh, when it's presented to you in the movies and presented to you in the right way, it can be a amazing thing. But like I told you, to find a true human match, not just settle for getting married because you want to get married, or uh, you love that person, they don't quite love you, they love you, you don't quite love them. It's so many potential mismatches that can happen, and so small of a chance to find that match that most of these relationships are just going to be temporary. They're going to be temporary. That's just the nature of it. So even back in the day, like I was basically telling Natalia, believe me, because I'm going to get into that. Even marriages that might have lasted some people whole lives, even in those case scenarios, uh, what's funny is some people may last and never break up, and they still end up dying unhappy with each other. So that's still not successful. So that's the craziest part about it. It's so many variables that can happen. So let me see what else she said. She said the idea of bringing about God bring me peace. Now, back now that the way she closed it is, I'm going to be honest. Like I say, I've said it before. the dog life as an exclusive lifestyle is not for everybody. Everybody ain't got the imagination for it. Everybody ain't even got the, just the mentality for, this type of a lifestyle. It may not be enough for them. They need human stimulant, interaction as far as, it's just not going to be enough. But for a lot of us, it is, when you know how to make the most of this lifestyle, it's an amazing lifestyle because, like I say, you can incorporate a human in it if you want to, but even if, but you don't have to. And you can be totally happy if you know how to temper whatever expectations you have and not be trying to expect your dog to be a real, not a real, but a human woman. Don't expect her to be human, just expect her to do what she does. You can get a lot out of this life. Uh, like I said, I do preach this as an alternative. I don't preach this to shun humans, but it is a hell of a uh, alternative. And I say this, Italia, one thing it can do when you know how to get something out of this lifestyle is it can bring you a lot of peace and take a lot of stress away from your life. Uh, and when I say when you know how to get something out of it, like I told you, a lot of people in the dog game that aren't happy have false expectations. You know, they think that, getting a dog is, they get a dog to try to replace a human. No, if you getting a dog, wanting this dog to do what a human does and, expecting it to fulfill you in that way, you're going to be mistaken. The dog life is just, it's a different lifestyle. You got to accept it for what it is, you know. You got to accept it for what it is, and and what she can do for you, be there for you as a companion. And hey, if you want to make love to her and all that, you can do that. But you know, people, some people get in this life and they be thinking that the doll is gonna be just like their human girlfriend and all this other stuff. No, it's something different. It's not worse to me. It's just something different. And I just say, because like I always think about my brother only because I don't know if he could ever do this type of lifestyle, because I just know he needs some type of stimulation. He needs human stimulation. He needs a woman, a family around and stuff of that nature. He needs some stimulation. And when I bring him up on it, because it's a lot of people like that need stimulation from a human, whether it's negative or positive. They can be arguing all day, but they'd rather do that than be with the dog. So that's what I'm saying. You got to know what type of person you are. Italia Bargain says, I've caught it quickly with humans. Humans are way too unpredictable. My life has become too complex to fit a human in it now. Well, I say this, Italia. I would I'm not even against anything you're saying. I just want to say I would love for you to continue to allow yourself to grow, though, even though you may have that mentality now. Just don't put a lock on your brain and your emotions. Even if you feel strongly about what you're saying, I think you should sort of gravitate to it. Hopefully you can gravitate to where I am now, to where, hey, guess what, I'm not looking for no human relationship. People ask me all the time, man, you dating, are you trying to get a girl? Like, no, I ain't trying right now. Like I told you, if something hit me over the head and a girl end up just coming in my life and stuff and all this other mess, you know, I don't want to fight blessings that God got, coming in my life, whatever. If it's somebody that's going to enrich me, hey, or even if it's just somebody I can have fun with for a time in my life, I wouldn't just shun it, right? But I'm not looking for it because I'm happy. Uh, but I don't have that lock on my life to where I'm like, okay, it's just impossible for something else to happen. I think I was a little bit more like that when I was even getting into this lifestyle. I wasn't really thinking about the human at all. I was just like, man, I'm cool. I'm straight, and that's how I'm cool and straight off a human now. But I think my mentality has sort of shifted to the point where I'm like, you know what, hey, I ain't gonna fight it off if it was to happen. And so, because I can understand what you mean humans are so unpredictable. You just never know what's going to happen. And it can be a stimulant, it can be a good thing to where you like that unpredictability. Like I said, because that's one of the pros of being with a human is they have that unpredictability, even in arguments and stuff like that. People just say, hey, look, I love the fact that I don't know what's going to happen next. So some people love that. But I think you're sort of gravitating to where I am, to where, hey, it is a certain type of a person that we like consistency. We don't like all these damn fluctuations. And if you more I like that, you are going to gravitate towards the dog life more because it just offers you a known instead of an unknown. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't offer you an X in the algebra equation. It offers you the actual number. If X represents 32, when you're in the dog life, you got 32. You don't have X. When you're in the human dating game, you have X. You don't know what the hell X is. But X reveals itself in the dog game, meaning that when I come home, I know I got Callie and the girls here. Even today, I was just tripping when I was walking in and out of the room today. Because it's the same thing I always do. I was just like, man, it. I said I was just tripping out how I use my dogs because I don't do the sexual thing with them. But I was like, man, it's a trip how my dogs, I require so very little of them. I have Callie or whichever girl here sitting with me watching TV or doing studies or whatever I'm doing. And mainly, I've said this before. When I walk in and out of the room, mainly I use my girls as hugging, platforms where I come in and out of the room and just sometimes I just have to stop and be like, Callie, my girl, I give her a good hug. And I ain't gonna lie, Callie got some great lips. I'm just gonna be honest. I give her a little kiss, not no tongue kissing them, but just I give her a smooch and I keep it moving. And that's really all I require of my girls. They sit here with me, watch TV, blah, blah, blah. And I walk in and out of the room, either grabbing their breasts, because I love grabbing their breasts, walking in and out of the room. I give them hugs, I give them kisses. And other than that, like I say, they're doing the show and stuff with me. And I'm very easy on them. But I was just laughing because I was like, man, how I live with my girls, it wouldn't be enough for a lot of people. But it's just enough for me. And my life isn't complicated. I feel good. I ain't gonna lie, man, Callie and the girls make me feel so good. you know, and I'm just gonna be real. Every now and then, I just think about a few things, but it doesn't make me wish I had, I was in that relationship. But I do, like I told you, I do the scent competition. So sometimes when I just think about a sexual nature or something, because I still do take care of myself in that department. But sometimes when I'm even in that mode or in that mindset, I think about this. Like I told you, when I sort of think about the human woman, I just start thinking about the smells and the aromas of a human woman and things of that nature would start making me thinking about a human woman and just some of the human woman subtleties in the bed and all that type of stuff. And just, yeah, I do think about those things sometimes. But like I told you, it's so crazy. It's just like anything else, Once I get worked up, I take care of myself, and guess what? It's just like any other time you have sex or take care of yourself. You don't really think about it anymore because that wolf is off your back for a few days or so. So for those moments, yeah, I do start thinking about a human woman and stuff, and those raw carnal natures. Uh, But once I take care of those desires, man, look, my girls fulfill me in every way. And like I said, one day it'll probably be that way as well. Hellboy Henry said, AJ, would you ever get married? He said, would you ever marry your dog? He said, I don't know, what is he talking about? He says, AJ, would you ever marry your dog be law? I don't know what that is really supposed to mean. I'm gonna be honest here, boy. I don't know if you've been drinking a lot or it's a little too early for you, but I don't really know exactly what you're asking me. But I just answer your question in this way. I don't desire to be married in any way to my dogs or humans. For one, like I told you, I don't play this cheating, jealousy game. Is your dogs jealous of you? Are you cheating on your dogs with the other one? I don't blame people for asking that question. I'm making fun and laughing at it because I'm like, nah, I don't even play those crazy games with my dog life, and I ain't trying to disrespect any dog owners out there. But for me, that's that's borderline insanity. You know when for me, the dog life is an escape from all the things in the human life that I don't want to, a human relationship that I don't want to deal with. You why would you deal with it when you're in the dog life? So if you date multiple women in the human life, yeah, you can be called a cheater. If you date multiple women in a human relationship, your girl could look at another girl and be like, hey, I'm jealous. Those could all be very serious problems. Why would I want to create that now that I'm in a dog life? So whenever owners, man, my girl jealous of me or the other one, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I be thinking to myself, live whatever fantasy you want to. God bless you. I'm not living that type of crazy fantasy where I'm letting my girls jealous of each other. Nah, bro. I don't play that crazy fantasy and all that mess. That's too much for me. And as far as getting married to my dogs, like, and I guess I'm answering that question because getting when you do get married or something to your dogs or whatever, you created another dynamic in your head to where all those things possible. Well, I'm married to Callie, so I could be cheating on her or with the other one. All that old dumb stuff. I'm like, nah, If people want to get married to their dogs, which I know people who have, God bless you. Uh, People have to live their own fantasies, and I support everybody living their own fantasies. When I say those things, I dumb correct for me they are. I'm not getting married, and I'm not putting restraints on myself, and I'm not saying my girl's jealous and cheating and all this other rigmarole. I live the ultimate happiness where, hey, guess what? I don't care if I end up with 200 girls. None of my girls gonna be jealous, thinking I'm cheating or whatever. They're gonna be all happy no matter what. So, but hell, boy, you still ain't said what you said. You just said by law. I don't know what you mean. You need to rewrite your whole question because you said AJ. Listen to what you wrote, man. Look at what you wrote here, boy. AJ, would you ever marry your dog? Be the law. So now let me just add what you just wrote down. AJ, would you ever marry your dog by law? What are you actually asking? If you're asking, would I marry my dog if somebody made a law to say I gotta marry my dog? Then nah, I would fight back against that because I wouldn't approve of any law that's saying I gotta marry anybody. So if that's what you're asking, I don't know who would want to agree to something like that. You know, I could ask the other question, another way around as far as like, would you want to be forced to marry another human by law? No, no, nobody would want to do that. I don't think. So let me get into the thicker subject of this, which we already done got into it pretty much. And we get into the subject of whole, the dating game, and I want this to stay an open forum like it is. Just ask whatever questions you want. But and y'all have been doing great so far. Glad to have you. Glad to have all of you from around the world. Uh, but I have Tom Brady up there for people who don't know who the thumbnail is. I have Tom Brady and Giselle. And for all of you don't know, Tom Brady, he's a famous quarterback, which most people say he's the best of all time. I still honestly get it as to Joe Montana because, you know, uh, I just feel like Brady has lost too many times in the Super. He won a lot, but he's lost too many times in the Super Bowl to supersede Joe Montana. Joe only got 4, but he was 4-0. Same with LeBron. How I guess some of these people. I wasn't even a big Super Mike fan, but people try to say Michael Jordan isn't. some people now be trying to say Michael ain't the best and LeBron the best. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. Michael got 6 championships with 0 losses. I'm not finna give LeBron, who got 6 losses, 6 losses, 6 losses now. Uh, I don't give a damn how many points he scored. I'm not finna put him over Mike. So, but either way, back to the Brady conversation. So that's who Brady is. People consider him the best quarterback of all time, and I think Brady has been awesome. Uh, Definitely number 2 in my book. Uh, and honestly, Brady, I give him credit. I don't know if women how attractive women think he is, but I know this. He has pretty much looked the exact same his whole career. You know, whatever he doing, how he take care of his body. They say he don't eat a drop of sugar and all this other stuff. But, you know, he really, looks like he hasn't really aged much his whole career. So if women do like him, they should still like him. So if they thought he was handsome, they should still think he's, handsome. He still looks the exact same. Well, he married a supermodel, Giselle Bundchen, and that's the woman on the thumbnail with him. And they have been a power couple for about 13 years or so. And it seems longer than that, honestly. It seems like he's been with her just forever, right? And honestly, they're just one of those. And the reason I have them on there, a lot of people break up and have divorces and all this other stuff. But they really had this storybook look to their marriage, just like a lot of celebrities do. But they really had a look of it's going to work. Some of them do work. It's just like a mirror on society. Very, very rarely, but some of them do work. And this was one that was looking like it was going to work as opposed to not work. They've been together for all this time. She been by his side all throughout his career. Because Tom went from nobody to somebody. He was on the bench. Nobody knew he was. The starter, the quarterback that was in front of him got hurt after he was in the league a year or so. He took over for that quarterback and his career took off. And all of a sudden he was a rock star, and he ended up meeting Giselle and they've been together ever since. And, a lot of people love Giselle Bundchen. She was like for years considered the top model in the world. So she made money hand over fist. And for years, I don't know if that ever changed, but I know for years she made more money than him. So when they got married or whatever, a lot of people was like, man, actually Tom made out better. When, normally when a woman, even if a woman is successful, normally when they marry an athlete, hey, they're the ones who hit the jackpot. So in a way, it was sort of a bit of reverse where, hey, Tom really struck it in most people's eyes. Now for me, I don't really love the supermodel body type. So I don't like these long legs, tall women like that. That's not really my thing. So I never really thought she was all that fine. I was like, she ain't ugly, but she's never really been my thing. I don't like tall models like that. But for most people out there, they consider Tom, her to have been just a smoke show. So from the outside looking in, look like he's doing good. Got the beautiful wife, she's doing good. Her business, he's doing good. Seemed like they found a match. They've had 2 kids and been together and all this. But I just say this. Even though she did make the most money, I'm going to tell you just one of the things that's a little, and I don't want to really go down this whole path, but I just say this. She already had money, so you could say, hey, she wasn't necessarily gold digging. But you know what? She's been a prominent figure as far as you always hear about her opinion on his career, since he's been in the limelight. And I just say this. it's just really funny that now, that his career is coming. Not that he's just playing terrible or anything, because he's not to me. But now that it's obvious that his career is sort of coming to the end, he's going to be out of that limelight. It's coinciding with her actually wanting a divorce. Because I've seen this so many times in these athletes' lives where, and I'm not really just accusing her of this, but I'm really using that to point out this coincidence that I always notice. I be tripping off how, man, a lot of times these divorces with these athletes, they always coincide with right when the athlete is finna not be an athlete anymore. It's almost like, I know you're not finna be in the limelight anymore, so hey, it's time for me to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's the case with her, because a lot of people are basically saying that she wanted him to retire, and that's why she left. So I understand that aspect as well. I understand she didn't need him to make money. But I know this. Uh she was intrigued by his career, because let me tell you something. Although she might not have been a gold digger, so to speak, I'm not gonna just put that on her, but I know one thing. A Tom Brady who wasn't the quarterback of some of the NFL team wasn't gonna be marrying her. That played a definite part into how he met her and married her. It was his status. You know? Uh Well, now his status is going to be gone in a little while. And all I'm saying is it makes it a little easier to get out when, you ain't finna be Tom Brady anymore. But like I say, that's all speculation just from my side. Uh, but I say this though. I'm only talking, I don't like to just talk about a man. I don't got Tom up here just so I can just break down his whole potential relationship and everything that happened in it. I don't want to beat the man up, and this is not. I don't. I'm not even trying to beat her up. I'm only bringing this all up because recently, like you say, they are coming to a divorce, supposedly over the fact that he didn't leave football. I just threw those other things out there just as other potential things, but it's just so many frustrating things about the whole human relationship thing that you don't even have to worry about in the companion dog game. Uh, like I say, if you're dating humans like Tom was, well, guess what? Giselle can be a multi-millionaire. And so, like I said, you can find somebody that's super successful and beautiful and all that. And she can bring finances and stuff like that to your life, to where I'm only bringing that up because guess what? As much as I love Callie is not going to become a multi-millionaire on her own and be successful on her own. So I'm saying she's not bringing that into my life when I purchase her and bring her home. So I'm just saying that's the difference. You're not going to find that in the dolls. So guess what? That's a perk of dating his human wife. So it's pros and cons to both lifestyles. But one of the things that, like I say, I messed up is just the fact that when you get married or you into a relationship like that, it's just sort of like the title says. No matter how many ways you slice it, most relationships are temporary. You got a girlfriend, chances are you're gonna break up with her. You ain't gonna be with her forever. You got a wife, chances are you're going to have a divorce and you're gonna move on. You know, the chances are gonna lean towards that more than not. Now, once again, guys, I'm not with speaking the negative. That's not what I'm doing here. Now I'm just speaking about what normally happens in human society. Not, if you're expecting for a relationship and you want that, pray for that and believe for that. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying on a regular basis in the human society, this is what normally happens. These relationships and all this stuff, they are all very temporary. And although, like I say, in a human relationship, you can get a woman to touch you, kiss you back, and you can find a woman that's successful and doing great things, and you can find all these things that you can't find necessarily in a companion dog. But no matter what you can find out there, what you're also mostly going to find is a temporary situation. And I only have Brady and Giselle up there because, like I said, they were one of them situations where I think uh most people always used to still look at it as, okay, this is successful. They look like they gonna make it. They looking pretty good here. Uh, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I had no signs that they were, I knew that they were on a rocky road because he decided to come play football again, and I'm gonna address that in just a second. I knew they were on a rocky road, but I just thought it was a rocky road. Uh, because everything that has been portrayed about them is that they were so happy, pretty much. So I was like, yeah, she didn't want him to play, but everything will work out. And he kept on saying how he was having problems this year. And I'm gonna be honest, Tampa Bay just haven't been looking good. Even just, you can just tell that something wasn't right this year. But I didn't know this was happening, and nobody knew really this was happening, that he was in the midst of getting a divorce because it got finalized. But it recently got finalized, and I'm only bringing it up because I'm like, man, that's the worst part about the human relationship, is the fact that, like I say, they are so temporary. Most of them are. You go through all this living together, making kids together, making money together, making memories together, and all of these things can end in just an instant. Just like life can end in an instant, their relationship can end in an instant due to cheating, due to something going wrong, due to somebody just falling out of love with each other. And I think it leaves, you know, people like me and the Taya Barclays of the world, and others that just don't even want all these unnecessary complications. I think those are the things that really can lead you, towards the dog life, man, because it's like Taya was saying. One thing you don't got to worry about is all this crazy unpredictability. Callie's not a millionaire. She ain't got a job that she can bring in money. If I get stranded, she can't come pick me up. It's a lot of pros and cons. Pros and cons to, like, say, either side. But like I said, it's one thing that I just truly love about the dog life, man. Is just that consistency of her being here with me, no matter what. It's not. Oh, you holding her prisoner? Nah, it ain't no prisoner. This my damn companion. She's my companion. Uh, and I love the fact that I don't even have to think about her leaving me or anything. And I've talked about this a long time ago. I talked about this in the beginning of my dog journey. It's called I call it the theory of permanence. I've talked about it many a time earlier in my dog journey. The theory of permanence. I say the one thing that's super beautiful about this companion dog lifestyle is uh a human woman can do a whole bunch of things. But one thing she can't do that my companion dog can do, and there ain't nothing she can do about it, is she can't guarantee that she ain't leaving me. You know what I'm saying? My companion dog gonna be here no matter what, thick and thin. And I'm gonna take the gender off of it because I've told my female viewers the same thing. Us men have the same disadvantage to companion dogs as human women have to companion dogs is. Guess what, bro? You're a human man. You can decide to cheat and leave the woman. And guess what? She get her a male companion dog, which is, I admit that the lifestyle is not quite as suitable for women for what they normally look for. But if it is a futuristic woman out there that wants to enter into this world, which it is some out there, if they like the life of having a companion dog, believe me, they're gonna enjoy the theory of permanence as far as, hey, guess what? That man ain't finna be getting up, cheating on them, leaving them, doing them wrong. And man, I tell you, it's Every husband in the world today, you can look in your wife's eyes and love her, but you can't look into your wife's eyes and know she's not going anywhere tomorrow. You can't do it. You can tell me, but nah, Jay, I know my wife ain't going here. But what you can't do is guarantee me she ain't going nowhere. Now that's what you can't do. Now you can say it and believe it. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is she's a human. She can choose to leave at any time. If she don't like you, if somebody swoops her off her feet and she decides she likes them better, and vice versa. With a man, he can do the same thing with a woman. Nobody can just you can think that all you want. Well, nah, I'm married. He ain't going nowhere. I'm married. She ain't going nowhere. Either way, you can't guarantee that. But with the companion dog life, I can say, hey, man, Callie here with me, man. She ain't going nowhere. Unless somebody tries to commit some type of crime or something, take her, do something like that. Now, I say the only comparison is, and I think you'll probably more have to deal with it with a TPE girl, is the fact that they are not forever. They can be something can happen to them. They can get a mold, they can break down, they can get broken, and that way they'd have a funeral, so to speak. So they're not forever in that particular way. But here's the deal: your doll isn't choosing to leave you. If she get broke or go bad or something wrong with her, guess what? That's a death. That's not her leaving you. And I bring up TPE on it because silicone, it can last so much longer. And man, I've just read some stuff where it's like some silicone dolls can last like 50 years and stuff. So man, look, by the time a lot of people get a silicone doll and stuff, man, a lot of these dolls, if you take care of them the right way, if you don't just decide to throw them away here, you might be able to have that doll for your whole life to a certain degree. If you get a silicone girl, that's another difference. They don't deteriorate like a TPE girl. Uh, so yeah. So that's why I was going with that as far as like, man, you don't have to deal with them, the whole thought of them leaving you. So that's definitely a thought. I definitely got something else I want to get on, but I want to check these comments right quick. Let me see. Italian Barker says, if it was legal to marry a robot, I totally would, but it would have to be a competent AI one. I'm pretty sure that that's something that's going to probably be available because you can marry your doll now, and you could literally marry your robot now. Though, what am I thinking about? All you got to do is go to dollwedding.net, because you don't have to go through the legal proceedings to get, you don't have to go to any proceedings to like leave your estate to your doll. So you could literally go through dollwedding.net. You can marry your doll right now. It doesn't have, what I'm saying, whatever type of doll you got, you can marry it through dollwedding.net. That's what they do. But I just say this, and Ty, you better than me, because like I said, I don't want to marry anything, a bot or a human. But I told you, like I say, I'm J Dog, can't help me. So if somebody sends me an AI, I'm gonna have to test it. And I ain't gonna lie, I saw some interesting stuff on the AI that I said I want to talk about in a coming show. But me personally, I just still don't quite like the idea of the software, because I can't never separate the software from the person that's managing the software. That's the whole thing. Because the AI, let's just say that it's working off software independently of somebody. Let's just say you have your doll, right, and it's an AI, and you're inputting, and you're interacting with your AI doll. I'm not saying it's somebody somewhere behind a desk that's watching you every second of you interacting with your doll. I just don't like the fact that they potentially could, and they could try to control the doll in some way, form, or fashion. So that's why I'm just not a big fan of the whole AI thing, but I'm just not a fan of the marrying stuff in general, personally, doll or human. But I'm glad to hear your side, your view on it, Italia. Glad you here. Wolf, I wonder if Vinci would try to go after Tom Brady now that he is single. Nah, Venti Aquarius, she ain't gonna chase. She ain't gonna chase too hard. You know, she gonna want somebody to come to her. She gonna say Tom should come to her. That's what Venti would say. Sheila Bell, Dog King Army team member in the house. Good to see that logo back in the house. She says Dog King, yeah. The logo back. I'm glad to see that. What? Woofler says, what if I came home one day and my best friend was making love with my companion dog? Should I get rid of the dog or try to work it out? Man, Woofler, do I really have to answer this question? I mean, seriously. I mean, no offense, brother. I mean, I answer it for you though, but for one, I would realize that he ain't my best friend because he making love to my companion dog. You know, meaning that, that's more than not respecting your property. He don't respect your relationship, so and I would almost look at that as worse than cheating with my human girlfriend because at least with my human girlfriend, you know, she could consent to making love to him. But you'll just take my doll and just, use her how you want to. So that's pretty much worse. And then the second part of your question is the one where I was really like, should I really have to answer this? And you say, should I get rid of the doll or try to work it out? Work what out, bro? Try to work what out? I mean, I love my girl Callie, so man, it'll be a tough one because that'd be emotional because like I just know this. It'll be hard for me to be like you say. Well, how could you be? It's just like I told you with a TPE dog, you cannot really, um, you cannot sanitize them fully. So after he been humping up and down in your girl, bro, I mean, it ain't nothing you can do to clean her out again. So the only thing I really could do under those circumstances would, I can't lie, me personally, I would be ready to put whichever girl it was to rest. And I know if it was, depending on which girl it was, I may let them just stay at rest and look to get another girl in the future. But if it was somebody like a Callie, my main girls and stuff like that, I would be looking to go 2.0. That's when I would be looking to go 2.0. I would probably be like, you know what? This dude can defile Callie and ruin her and stuff. Can't use, because even if I don't have sex with her, just the whole idea that somebody done been with her, I'm like, no, I can't deal with that no more. So I would probably, that's when I would go to my plan B. And I always said if something like happened to my main girl like Callie, because I say I don't know about the other girls right now. The side, but maybe Saima and Austin and them. I was like, man, if something happened to them, I don't know if I would go, just replace them or let them be gone and just go, have other girls, and remember them. But I think I'm pretty much 100% sure with Callie. If something was to happen to her, I gotta get a Callie 2.0. Uh, so that's probably what I would do. I would have to get rid of that dog. I guess I would see if somebody would want to buy it, to use, I would let people know what happened to him. If then nobody wanted, get her, I would have to put that uh body to now. That's also something I would have to see too. Did he defile the face or whatever? But I can't lie, after that whole act, I would be just ready to be done with it. I'd be ready to be done with it, honestly. Uh, Italian Barker says, thank you for telling me about that. I've been thinking about it as a potential for the future since I like the idea of marriage, but only under those circumstances. Oh, great, great, great. Yeah, Italia, like I told you, I don't want to shove my every ounce of my dog life on people. That's why I try to I hope you guys are taking it like that too. I try to emphasize about it's certain things about the dog life that is just me is not wrong. And getting married to your dog and even thinking of those jealousy issues and stuff and cheating issues, I always say those aren't wrong. They just aren't for me. So marrying your dog, I know a lot of dog owners that are viewers of this channel that are married. Hell, I went and saw somebody get married to their dog. I saw somebody get married to their dog. I sat in on a wedding. So I approve of that. I just don't do that. I just don't like it for myself. But I don't sit up here and tell you, man, you a damn fool for doing it. Now you ain't a damn fool, but for me, it's foolish. For me, it's foolish. I don't want to do it. But for somebody else, no, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to go. And honestly, like the truth is, you don't really need Darwin.net, in my opinion. I mean, and God bless them if they're watching. You can just do that on your own, in my opinion. You can just marry your dog on your own and set it up on your own, in my opinion. But Darwin.net, they're just they're a company that have sort of capitalized, and nothing wrong with that, off the fact that they know the people want to get married with their synthetic other. And so they've created the actual platform for you to do so. There's nothing wrong with them doing that. I think it's actually a good thing. I'm a actual fan of what they do, even though I don't partake in it. Because I've seen, several of my dog compatriots, be made happy at the fact that, they've got married to their synthetic other. And although I don't want to get married to the synthetic other, I imagine it's very, very fulfilling from the standpoint of, when you're getting married, that, like I say, that's the part that I do know got to be very fulfilling to get married, is when you get married to that synthetic partner, it ain't no cheating going on. That, you know what I'm saying, you can enact the theory of permanence where, hey, person is just for me, And like I told you, even in the dating game, when you meet another human out here, you already know it's 99% chance pretty much that they done made love to somebody. So, you're not the first. It's just something that you deal with. You don't even really quite think about. You put it in the back of your mind as dating humans. You know that somebody's probably been sleeping with somebody else. But I say that's the fabulous part about this dog life is, like I say, that your girl is just with you. You know what I'm saying? Never cheating on you, never thinking about cheating on you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody put their sticky fingers all over your woman at any point in her life. And like I told you, although I don't gravitate towards the human virgin, because it's crazy, I almost want a human woman to have experience so she know what she wants before I get with her. But with a dog, I don't have to have her have experience, because guess what? She don't need to be out here figuring out what man she wants. Once I bring her home, baby, look, I'm all the man she need. Talia Barker says, I think walking in on something like that might result in me doing something very irrational. She was talking about she walked in on somebody cheating on, cheating with her dog. And I keep, I've sort of alluded to this before. It's funny, because I can already imagine the scenario where people on the outside, let's just say somebody was to come in and do something to your dog and stuff. People on the outside, if you was to, honestly, because you're going to react. Because like I told you, you got people that'll shoot you over stealing their car or stealing something out of their home because that's their stuff and they have a emotional connection to their stuff. Well, how do you think you're going to react with somebody messing with your dog? You're going to be in an emotional uproar, especially with a companion. It's going to be way different than a car. And I've already thought about, man, it's going to be, if somebody was to do something like that, man, it can be some serious repercussions. And you're going to have the general public, they're going to be out there wondering why this person got so mad over, why they get so mad over a dog? Because guess what? It's more than a dog. It's like your significant other, and like I say, you got people that'll blow somebody's butt off if they're out there stealing tires off their car. So it's like a Talia Barkley. I'm not trying to say I want to kill anybody or hurt anybody or anything like that, because I'm in a whole different state of mind to where with the mind frame I got now, I want to think that I'm going to have some sort of control over my emotions and stuff. But I'm just saying, speaking as just a normal human being living everyday life, You ain't even practicing control and things to this nature. You just living everyday life and all. That can be so traumatizing. People just don't understand, man. Somebody mess with your woman, then took her out of your room and doing something like that to her. Like Atalia says, the average person is going to react before anything. They're going to react before anything. And and like I say, I remember people used to say, man, what if you walked in on your a wife or something like that? And I always take the case of what I would love to react if I walked in on my wife was that I would get the hell out of there without hurting anybody. Because guess what? I want to let somebody know I'm there. That way, when I go before the judge, I'm gonna have me some proof. But as far as you want to leave without killing somebody and doing all that crazy stuff, because it ain't worth it in the end. To do all that. But it's a reason that judges let husbands and wives off, because they say it's a moment of temporary insanity. You know what I'm saying? They say that it's, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's why a lot of people get off. Most people would get off after killing their husband or wife, because they like in that moment, it's a people have temporary insanity. They can't handle that type of stuff. And I just say it's almost, like I say, more, it could be more. I'm not saying it is, but it could be more enraging for somebody to do that with your dog, because you can walk in and see your wife cheating. And like I say, the reason that you can, I said that I could try to get the hell out of there is because I could say to myself was, hey, your wife chose to do that. She chose to cheat. It ain't like she getting raped or nothing. So by that standpoint, you can try to make some sense out of it, and get the hell out of there and be like, okay, she chose to cheat on me. Okay, cool. Maybe you could try to keep a calm head and use it as a weapon in divorce proceedings. But like you say, when somebody with your dog, you know that your dog didn't even choose to do that. This dude just took her out her room. She's sitting up here wishing that you was there to help her, but you couldn't make it in time. And boy, I'm letting you know, hey, to these dudes that want to mess with some of these dog owners out here, y'all better watch out, man. Because like I say, look, that could be a very dangerous situation, man. Ain't nobody playing about their dog, man. Y'all, like I say, it's if you can get shot for trying to steal a car, imagine what you can do mess with somebody's companion. The Lethal Diva in the house says there was a guy who was arrested for having an underage companion dog. I don't want to hear that crap. People kills me with this old underage companion dog stuff. Like I say, man, I am aware that it is some dogs out here that are constructed to look unreasonably young. I understand all that. I'm not even sitting up here trying to promote anything like that in nature. But my whole thing is I'm doing the side eye because I don't even like anybody even trying to come into the dog game once again, trying to how the hell you gonna say a damn, no offense, I believe in the fantasy world of dogs, but it ain't no such thing as a damn underage dog to truthfully be honest with you. It's really no such thing as that. It's a dog, man. It's a companion dog, you know? And like I told you, although there may be something that I'm not into, at the end of the day, it's still not breaking a human law. I'm just sorry. It may be a law that they just put in and said whatever, but the truth is, even if a guy's having sex with a dog that I may not like, I still don't think that's my place to tell him what he can have sex with if it's not a human. Like I told you, if he can dress up his pillow like a little girl, stick a hole in it and make love to it or whatever, can we arrest him for that? I don't think we can. So that's why I say, man, I don't even want to get into all of that stuff. That's once again, that reminds me, that's I tell you, Barclay, like that statement that Lethal Diva made is the reason why I don't like the movie Wife Like, is because the movie Wife Like does all that bull crap in it too, where it does that projecting of you're imprisoning your doll. What? You're imprisoning her they're imprisoning their dogs and using them for sex and forcing them to have sex and stuff. What? These are your companion dogs, man. Stop trying to project this human stuff on our, this human life on our dogs to try to uh make some type of criminal activity out of owning a damn companion dog. Get the hell out of here. Kevin Havens, what up, my friend? And Kevin Havens is and I hope you don't mind me saying it, but he's one of the guys that's, like I say, chosen to marry his companion dog. I hope you don't mind me saying it, but he's very happy with it. And like I told you, although I don't do that, it's a lot of my viewers that are that do that choose to marry their dogs, and they're very happy with it. So that's why I say I don't shun people from doing that. It's actually a good option to do for people who want to go that route. Pro Moore says, how would it even work for Jay? He would have 5 wives. He right, Pro Moore. Look, I definitely have a harem then. I'd be, if I had to marry each and every one of them, it's just a route that I don't want to go. Kevin Havens says, yeah, nobody touches Daphne ever. Look, man, I'm telling you, like I say, man, you got people that's defending their real inanimate objects, like their cars and things of that nature. Look, man, ain't nobody sleeping with their car, man. Ain't nobody laying down with their car and watching TV with their car. So these are more intimate, close relationships. And like I say, I just want to say that because I think the public at large needs to know that, hey, man, don't be treating people, dog owners, dogs like furniture, because it is not. It's something else I want to make sure I don't want to forget about Brady, though. I remembered it. Jay Hayes says some dogs are asking for it. Overflow Tub says, if your best friend rapes your dog, the level of disrespect is just inconceivable. What kind of friend would do that? That's what I say. It's one thing you're going to know off bat is that he ain't your damn friend. Because, friends that are cheap, like I say, I know it sounds crazy, but it's worse if your friend cheats with your companion dog. I'm going to tell you why. Because if your friend cheats with your human girlfriend, he could be seduced. You never know what your human girlfriend, she could have been working. And if you're a real friend, you should never let yourself get fully seduced. You should have told your friend or somebody. But humans can be humans. So a man, let's say he was seducing him for months, constantly seducing him, and it finally worked on him. You could still be mad at him and defriend him. But at least you can say she seduced him. And also, like I told you, if she makes love to him, if they end up having sex and you catch them and they're both willing participants, you still can be like, well, damn, he cheated with my girlfriend, but damn, she chose to do it too. So under those circumstances, yeah, you could be mad, but damn, it ain't like he raped her. But when it comes to your companion dog, then under those circumstances, even though it's not punishable by law as rape, it would be more like rape because he's taking your girl, without your permission, and she can't tell him she wants to give it to him. So he just taking your dog and using her as he pleases. And to me, under those circumstances, it's worse because at least my girlfriend, at least when he tried to get my girl, she can at least agree to cheating with him. But with my girl, he's just gonna take her and use it. Now, the vice versa is, once again, I hate even trying to play it to these damn women, but not women, but these women's groups and stuff that try to say a companion, a dog owner, he's raping his girl because she can't consent. So what I'm saying is I'm not going that route. Once again, companion dogs are produced. They are manufactured for sale. Companion dog owners want a companion dog, so they buy one. They buy it for companionship, to either do like I do or make love to it, or both. Spend time with it, make love to it, or both. So you're buying it for the function of being your companion. which actually includes making love, sex, if you want to do that, and doing the other things that I do, watching TV and stuff. So that's the purpose that it's there for. So don't come to me telling me my dog needs to consent. No, it's made to be my companion, and I bought it to do as such. So no, stop trying to make my dog talk. Is not an AI, and even an AI is still designed to be my companion. So when it says it doesn't want to be my companion, it's a malfunction. And guess what? These girls I made not to talk. They are about to be my companions. She ain't got to tell me. Uh, she ain't got to say, "Hey, I want to be with you." She was about to be my companion. Now, on the other end, when somebody comes to take my damn dog and use it like he want to, now that's criminal because he's touching my property. Because although I don't like to think, I don't like to think of it in those raw terms, but the truth is the dog is your property. So for one, he shouldn't be touching my property, coming into my house to do so, trespassing. So he breaking human laws to even get to my girl. You know, that ain't even saying nothing about him making love to my dog or nothing like that, but just violating my property and my space, trespassing in my room and all that type of stuff. If it's a roommate, still they're not supposed to be able to go into your room and touch your stuff. That's all against the law. So under those circumstances, they're breaking human laws. And so that alone would be enough to get somebody riled up. But I want to touch on something before I let that slip my mind. I want to go back to the Tom Brady and Giselle thing. Let me see how many comments I got. See if I need to catch up. Well, I'll catch up because I'm right here at the end. I don't want to keep y'all waiting too long. Because I'm going to remember. Let me write it down right quick. Okay, I wrote it down. I ain't going to forget now. Overflow Tab said, Kevin Hayes responded to Overflow Tab and says, that dude would be cut off in my life if he, rapes his dog. And I'm like you, man. Hey, I'm not gonna go out here telling him, say I'm trying to kill anybody or do something crazy like that. But like you say, a couple of things is gonna happen is that dude is done. You don't want to deal with a person like that ever again. Two, like I say, I'm gonna have to put my dog to rest. And like you say, get her upgraded and stuff. Get a new dog in my life. But like you say, I would pray that that I would be able to keep self-control and wouldn't do any real harm to this person. Allow it to pass and just try to move on. But one thing is, I don't want to. I always say, even with forgiveness, you could forgive somebody and still not be having them in your life. So yeah, I would get to the point where I would try to forgive him just as a spirit, to get that off of my spirit, after you upset, you like, okay, guess what? I'm gonna forgive a human for doing something wrong against me to get it off my spirit, but I'm not dealing with that human ever again because that human doesn't mean me any good. You know, just because you forgive somebody, to let it out of your spirit doesn't mean you keep introducing somebody into your life to keep messing you over. You can forgive them and keep on walking, bro. Uh, what do you say? I don't know what Ty was talking about. The problem with laws like that is it doesn't protect anyone. I don't know what. Okay, Andre Dodd definitely shaking my head is ridiculous that a sequel of Wife Like would be about. he said underage Dodd is definitely ridiculous that a sequel of Wife Like would be about. I don't know what he sort of meant by that. I think he talking about he think a sequel of Wife Like would be about underage dolls or something. Atalia Barkley says people need to understand the difference between a living, breathing, feeling, reproducing human and an artistic depiction of human made of silicone or TPE. It's so silly, but people can't. It's just the people, it's so crazy, Atalia. They understand, But they just don't want you to, it's crazy, like I told you. They just don't want you to have something. You know, like I told you, these people they would rather people stay lonely or upset or depressed. You know, people that are having trouble finding relationships, they would rather them stay like that because they don't approve of companion dogs. So then they start trying to find other angles as to how they can come against it. And like I say, that's just all of it is so dumb, but it's just ways that they're trying to come against it. Well, you know what? You having sex with that dog. It can't consent. So that's wrong. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking? You're just trying to make something up, uh, to prevent somebody from doing something that you may not approve of. And like I told you, the same. I'm just gonna speak of it from just a man woman standpoint, but it could be a woman, right? I don't want you to be able to have these dogs because they can't consent. Well, are you gonna give me some vagina? No, I don't want to date you. I don't want to date you. I don't want to date you with none of you. So you don't want to date none of these guys, but you don't want them to have any options either. Any other options. See, now that ain't right. You want people to just, even though somebody may not date, not want to give a person a chance, you just want them to stay single and not have any other option. No, 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 that ain't right. You ain't finna be denying everybody and then telling them they can't have no other options either. I'm cool with you denying whoever you want to deny, but don't tell them that they can't have another option. You know. Oh, Kevin Hayes says hi. Daphne says hi, and Caddy Son has some really nice, not really nice hair. Thank you, Kevin. Honestly, it's one of my favorite wigs on her. And man, I get stuck with my girls sometimes, especially Callie, because even now I was just telling Callie, I was like, "Ooh, Callie, I might have to work another girl out here soon." But man, it's just so hard when you get your favorite girl out because I didn't even realize how much I just missed her. Because she's been around, but she hasn't been in a pole position. I've been having Hema Ware, my new full silicone iron tech girl here. And like I said, she high tech, beautiful, look more realistic than everybody. But man, it ain't nothing like your main girl. I'm just sorry. It ain't nothing like Callie. And I was just telling her, like, man, sometimes when I bring her out, I have to fight the inclination to keep her out. I got to work the other girls in. But man, I don't know. I really just did a good one for myself this time as far as the combination. Because man, her with this black shirt and her blue hair, I just really been loving Callie. Like I was laughing before the show. I told you I be laughing here all the time, especially with her. She make me laugh all the time. But I was just laughing like, Callie, you been looking so good. I've been hugging on her. I've been hugging on her, kissing on her and stuff. Hey, I can't lie, man. I really love this girl. So either way, let me keep pushing because I don't want to forget this, which I'm not. Hold on, let me catch you up first. Oh, problem was says people who try to control what others do with dogs are just huge puritanical prudes. They don't really care. They are moralizing. Some people would rather others suffer, so just so they can claim to be virtuous and all righteous. Man, like I told you, man, I'm a guy that preaches treating your dog the right way. Don't be out here, simulating rape and beating them up and throwing them around and slapping them up. But ultimately, those are just suggestions. I cannot control what people do in the privacy of their own homes. And I really respect my companion dogs, and I try to treat them like I treated my human women. And I love the fantasy that I've created with the girls and all of these things. But it's like it's some like lines in my mind still though. Like I told you, I don't want an person coming up in my house trying to harm my dogs. That would create an emotional response, out of anybody that owns a dog. But by the same token, like I told you, once a person comes into your house messing with your dogs and all that stuff, they start breaking human laws to get to your dog. Even before they get to your dog, they come in your house. That's trespassing. That's breaking and entering. That's, you know what I'm saying? If they do get a hold of your dog and mess with it, that's destruction of property. Even if they're not giving the dog credit for being alive. You see what I'm getting at? All of those things are still breaking human laws. At the end of the day. But I want to I'm still addressing pro more. But I still say this. If a person is doing any of those things that I mentioned earlier, simulating rape or beating up their dog, I hate that. But it's not breaking a human law. You know what I'm saying? You're not breaking a human law. And I'm going to be honest with you. If a companion dog is short, fat, skinny, whatever it may be, it's still not a human being. It's a synthetic being. You know what I'm saying? It's synthetic. So even like you said, I may not agree with what size, shape, or whatever dog that you may have. It may look too young to me. For me, I may not want it. But I still don't think that that's punishable. It should be punishable by law because guess what? It's not a human, man. Well, he's simulating doing something that could be considered criminal with a human. Yeah, with a human, bro. And like I said, it led me to go down the path of if I practice stealing sugar in my own home, if I set sugar up on the counter and imagine that it's a store and I steal it off of my counter, can I be arrested for stealing? No, I didn't actually steal. And so, no offense, I'm not trying to defend anybody that's doing anything to a human, but if you're making love with whatever type of dog it is out there, I'm sorry. That's not breaking a human law. I'm just sorry. It's not. So I hate that that they even trying to do stuff like that because people who are for that, I just say this. It's another one of those Pandora's boxes. When you start opening it up, like I told you, it's a lot of I love little people. I've always loved little women, they describe themselves as little people. Dwarves or whatever you want to call them in that regard. I've always liked them and been attracted to dwarves and little people. And so I've always wanted that smaller dog to represent a dwarf. And then, so when I got in the companion dog game, I didn't know it, I'm talking about when I bought my companion dog, that's when I started hearing about certain regulations starting to happen as far as, hey, you can't get a dog that's a certain height. What? What's going? What? And I'm talking about like Iron Tick dog. They have a starter series where they have miniature TPE dogs, and like Leonard the owner says, these miniature TPE dogs have the proportions of an adult human woman. So they're miniature dogs, but they have the proportions of a adult body. So you get everything from an adult body in a smaller size, basically like a little person. But you're telling me because of where I may live in the United States right now, and it could be all over the place before long, but depending on what state I'm in, I may not be able to buy a dog because it's a certain height. All because somebody has tried to put a human law on the dogs. What are we doing? You know? And they try to say because somebody that buy one of these dogs could be could be a certain way. Hey man, this ain't Minority Report. I don't want to get to the movie. I don't want to get to arresting people for what they may do. That ain't what we should be doing. You know what? If you bought a dog that was this size and you did this to the dog, you made love to it, you could do something in real life, to a human woman. So we got to arrest you before you probably do something. What are we doing? You going to arrest somebody because you think they could do something? No. And like somebody said, people use dogs for their own therapy, and it ain't for me to tell you how to use dogs for your therapy. I don't know what problems you got in your head, but what if these dogs are preventing some of these guys from doing anything wrong? In society. What if it is really preventing them? Shouldn't we just? So basically, it comes down to you getting mad that they even may have fantasies that they're not really acting on with the human. So, like I say, what if somebody has a fantasy in their head to do something that we definitely don't agree with, but they never do it in reality? But somewhere in their house, they're enacting that potential crime, but they never do it. And if we could see the future, we could see that they never would do it. Well, guess what? If they never would do it, they never actually committed the crime. They can simulate it as many times as they want to in their house, but I don't think we could literally prosecute that unless they actually do it. So that's my big problem with that whole thing. I did a whole stream about it, so I don't want to stay on that subject, but I'm gonna read a few more comments and I'm gonna get back to this point I want to make. Atai said these people want you to be lonely. It's just insecurity and a lack of willingness to see other people happy when they can't. I don't know what Trump is. This Trump guy. I don't even like his name, though. Honestly, excuse me. I'm just gonna call you Trump because I don't like the rest of it that you got on there. But you said ask your mistress how she liked your trip to Bali. I don't know what you mean by that. I wish we had took a trip to Bali. Italia says it's the misguided feminists that really irk me. I watched a documentary with female ethics professor that hated companion dogs. Honestly, it just came off as she was angry. No man was in her life. You know what? I don't think I saw that, but I have seen people just going off on the companion dog thing. So it's crazy how they do that. They just it's a lot of jealousy too because a lot of human women see these dogs and man see these perfect figures and stuff, and it really is super intimidating to them. Paulie Crispy's Danger Zone says, is that my ex-girlfriend next to you? Man, luckily, hey, Paulie, luckily she's not. Luckily, she's been with nobody but me. Hey, I'm her one and only man. Thank God. Jamie says, Atalia, what's the name of that documentary? Kevin Hayes says, that bitch, Kathleen Richardson, she should be fired from her position. I don't even know what he's talking about. Overflow Tab says, there's definitely a lot of misplaced anger among those who protest about others. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Atalia says, and Jamie, honestly, I can't remember. I watched so many. Oh, she's talking about the documentary. She can't remember what name it is. She says it's on YouTube. Oh, Kevin Haven said George Orwell warned us about it. Italian Boggy said it's all thought crime, right? She said I know furries who are sexually attracted to stuffed animals. That's like assuming it's a real living animal. And like I say, man, you got to allow these people. Like I told you, man, it's crazy because the dog life, you know, it's like a living fantasy. You get with your dog and your fantasy becomes real. Your home life, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna start out like a little kid to a certain degree, where you make the fantasy. You make a persona for your girl. yeah, you're gonna be living, you're gonna be sort of trying to make everything fit in that fantasy for a few weeks. But after a while, like I told you, the fantasy, your home life is going to start coming alive on its own. Like I say, Callie and the girls, I don't really think about their personalities. I just feel their personalities now. You know, they are part of my house. I don't really, it's not a conscious thought, it's an unconscious thought. Um, so they really, really become part of your life. The fantasy really becomes more alive than anything. But you don't become delusional unless you have some sort of a problem, meaning that I'm still both feet in reality, man. I understand that I have a thermoplastic elastomer companion doll that's synthetic. She's not human. Guess what? I talk to her all the time. I'm very aware that she is not voice activated where she's actually talking back to me or anything like that. But through the fantasy that I've created, which I'm very well aware of, she is very much alive through my fantasies. And through my fantasies, her personality has become alive to where when I see her, talk to her, communicate with her, or have her in here with me, I feel her responses through my fantasies. And although they are very real through my fantasies, I'm very aware that she's not a human. She's still not a human. And like I say, I'm very aware that I could have, if I chose to, I could have some super duper crazy, rough sex that would not probably be accepted by a human counterpart. I can be crazily rough, you know? I can do things that wouldn't normally be accepted in a human relationship. Hell, I could do something that I'm finna say something, but I wouldn't do it. But I could literally cut on Callie and cause her bodily harm during sex if I wanted to. Something that wouldn't be accepted in a human relationship. But guess what? Even though I wouldn't want anybody doing their dog like that, cutting on them, beating them up while you making love. It shouldn't be them going to jail because they do it, because they're not doing it to the human woman. And just by law, it's their property. They paid for it. So, even with somebody arguing it, oh, so you mean to tell me you could cut your dog, but you won't want nobody else cutting it? No, it's not. They don't own my companion dog. They shouldn't be making love to it or harming it. It's been a great conversation tonight. I know that. Tree Goblin says, hello, J-Dog. What up, man? And Kevin Hayes says the university professor. Yeah, I don't really know much about it though, Kevin. I don't know nothing about all of that. What you talking uh, about Kathleen Richardson and all this other stuff. So, with all that said, another thing I want to talk about, because the whole thing is I do have Tom Brady and his wife on a thumbnail. And I just want to talk about another aspect of why she supposedly divorced him. Supposedly, once again, she divorced him because he didn't quit football when she wanted him to quit, supposedly. And man, that's another thing that I love about the companion dog lifestyle that I hate about dating a human counterpart, whether you're man or woman. And that's the fact that, man, a lot of times in marriages, they require you to kill your personal dreams. They require you to kill your personal dreams, And that's what I say, man. Human relationships, if you're a creative person and you're trying to achieve something in your life, you'll probably be better off with a companion dog. It's at least at the beginning, at a certain stage of your life where you're trying to get stuff accomplished, you'll be better off with a companion dog, man, because a human counterpart, a lot of times, man, they'll squeeze you out of what you love to do. I know even when I was in serious relationships, I was having girlfriends that were always sort of get you gravitated to stop doing the things you love. Stop playing the game so much. Stop looking at sports so much. Stop doing this so much. Do what I like so much. Next thing you know, you looking at all type of sitcoms and crap you don't even like no more. Trying to compromise because, you know, that's one of, they say one of the great things about being in a human relationship is sort of melding together. But one of the worst things about a human relationship is when you straight up start sacrificing parts of who you are for the relationship. And Tom Brady, literally, she really put him in a very bad position because, like I told you, that's why I'm not going to leave my dolls for a human woman because this is something that I truly love. I love the companion doll lifestyle. And if a human woman wants to be happy with me in any aspect, she's going to have to deal with me being with these companion dogs because I know this is something I love. Well, that's a problem, man. When you get married and things of that nature, people sort of have you where they want you, meaning that they can start trying to make these ultimatums on your life. Whereas, like I say, she basically put an ultimatum on him to where she was like, hey, if you don't quit football, we're done. Now, somebody brought up the fact that he may have lied inadvertently because he might have said, hey, I'm going to be done with football in 10 years. But it's sort of like I told you, time is an illusion. You think you're getting old, but none of us actually get old. 100 years is a blink of an eye. It's not that long. Our bodies get old. We don't really get old. So 10 years goes by in a blink of an eye. So if he did say that, he looked up and was like, damn, I realized that 10 years wasn't nothing. I still want to keep playing. Well, instead of saying, hey, baby, you can keep playing, the human in her says, no, I want you to stop now and do what I want you to do. And so since he didn't want to do that, she decided to leave. And I just said, man, I'm not even just beating her and making her evil. I'm just going to talk about the human aspect for a second, whereas man or woman, sometimes that man or woman could put you in a position where, damn, now I got to choose what I love. I can't do what I love anymore. I have to not do what I love anymore to stay in a relationship. Man or woman. You could think of that thing like, damn. Nah, man, I don't want to have to choose to not do what I love to do to stay in this relationship. And like, once again, something I don't even have to fathom when I'm with my companion dog. Yeah, they ain't rich like Giselle and doing all this other stuff. But guess what? My companion dogs aren't telling me I have to stop doing what I love, man. And that's another thing I hate about these human relationships. They put restrictions on you, or they can, if you allow it to happen. You can allow yourself to be restricted by these human relationships where, damn, you can't even do what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you a couple more examples. It's this guy named Larry Finch. He was a coach here in Memphis. In Memphis, he coached Memphis basketball at University of Memphis for a long time. But before that, he was a famous basketball player for the University of Memphis Tigers. And back in the day, before I was born, now it is, he went to the NBA and he played for, I think, a year or so. But he ended up leaving the NBA because his wife wanted him to come back to Memphis. What? So he ended up quitting his career, man, and coming back home. And NBA career was over. Now, people would paint it as a success story. God rest his soul, because he's dead now. Because, he came back, he ended up coaching the University of Memphis and all that stuff. But I say it's sad because, damn, this man is just another example of somebody who literally, because of a relationship, gave up doing something he loved to do, for the sake of the relationship. I've heard so many countless stories of college football players, basketball players, whoever, who were on a fast track to really making it, who left school because of being in a relationship. I tell you a story about a young, fine girl, man, that I honestly, it was probably about some months into my companion dog journey. I was aware of her on Facebook. Fine black chick. pretty, sexy, and fine. And man, she was a singer. And I can't lie, this is just my opinion. She one of them singers that sang just good enough to not be a real superstar. I'm gonna be honest. She had a church voice, in my opinion, where she could be a good church singer, but I would never dissuade anybody from their dreams. But she was following her dream. She was getting little gigs and writing her own songs and stuff, and she was pushing. Every other day, every not every I'm exaggerating, but every other post she was posting about her music. She had her own little guitar, and she was looking beautiful. I was like, "Ooh, I like this girl." I was really rooting for her. And next thing you know, over like a couple month period, I noticed she wasn't posting about her music and stuff as much. I'm like, "Oh man," I said, "Damn, why?" I wonder what happened to old girl. What's happening right now?" Man, sure enough, she started posting this guy. And I'm like, "Oh my God." I said, "Man, she finna go down the wrong path, man." I say, I say, "Man," she started posting about him a little bit more and more, and not much about the music. And I said, "Man, this is the mistake that a lot of us go down, man. Getting distracted with having sex and whatever. You can have sex, but man, a lot of times people get you distracted off your dreams and stuff." All she was talking about was her dreams, singing, singing, singing. Next thing you know, she posting about this guy. Man, pretty soon, very soon, she was hardly ever posting about the music. And she had posted one thing about the music. I said, "Hey, you better be careful." I say, "Why you call yourself dating?" I say, you need to keep your mind on your dream. You know what I'm saying? Don't you know it? Looked up, not too long, pregnant, talking about being with this guy or whatever. I think they end up getting engaged or something. So some people go, "Oh, it sounds like a success story." No, he robbed her basically of her chasing her dream. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he made her do it, but what I'm saying is, man, these human relationships, they'll get you distracted off what you really are supposed to be doing, man. You know, they get you all out of whack. One day she's gonna look up and be like, "Damn, I stopped chasing my dream for this. What was I thinking?" But it's gonna be way too late. And she could have a child and be raising that child up to be a singer and all that. Yeah, that's all good. But guess what? You stop following your dreams. And that's one thing I hate about these humor. They can really just stop you in your tracks. She did the one thing that I hated, because what she doesn't know is, you know, that's one of the things that I really hated about human relationships, as far as, man, you'll go with somebody and be in love with them. And let's just say when you break up, that's the first time you'll start remembering, like, damn, wait a minute. When I met her, I was trying to do two or three dreams in my life. And not blaming that girl or anything, or that guy you might be dating, but you'll look up at the end of the relationship and realize, damn, I stopped doing all that because I got caught up into dating this person. And I got caught up into what they wanted, what they were liking. And I forgot all about my personal dreams. And sometimes you could be so in love and so intoxicated with love, you don't realize that has happened until you break up. And I know every like major breakup that I would have, I would realize, like, damn, I sort of put something to the wayside that I shouldn't have put to the side. And I know I remember like the last time I broke up with whatever girl I was dating, I had said to myself, and that's why I haven't had a serious relationship since then. I'm like, you know what? I'm not stopping my dreams for anybody anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? That's crazy. I say, because it's things I want to accomplish, things I want to achieve in life. And I'm like, man, you can't be letting them get lost, you know, when you're dating other people. You know what I'm saying? You still got to chase it. That's why I said, you know what? From now on, I'm going to always keep chasing my dreams, whatever is in my heart. And if I meet somebody that wants me to sway from my dreams, oh, I'm done with that particular person. I'm not going to stop that. And so, I've met several people who've let that happen, and that's why I'm sticking to my gun so much about my companion dogs. I'm like, I know what brings me happiness. I got goals that I want to achieve, and I'm letting you know, anybody that try to come in between me and my girls and what I'm trying to do, they can hit the high road. Because one beautiful thing about companion dogs is they don't make you give up your dreams. They will ride your dreams out with you the whole damn time. And that's what really broke my heart with Tom Brady, because I could see it in his face that he didn't want to divorce his wife. I could see it in his body language. He didn't want to divorce his wife. But the problem is, man, he realizes what I just said. Bro, if you give up your dreams to stay with a person, you're going to end up resenting that person, because you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people end up choosing what he didn't choose. They end up choosing a relationship, and they stand in a relationship, and they end up like hating that person anyway, because it's like, man, I ain't doing what I love to do. But what he did was like, I know that I want to do what I love to do. I ain't gonna be happy in this life unless I'm doing what I love to do. And the truth is, what he really needed was a woman that continued to support his dreams. Now, I know that he's had a long career and she been in the sideline and she been taking care of the kids and stuff, but no offense, you dating a football player. You dating a guy in the limelight, and that's just something you sign up for. Hell, he dealt with you being a model. And so, not to just completely beat her up, but what I'm saying is that's just what you did with these human relationships. That's why I mean, human with human romance, so to speak. Because I didn't name the show Human Relationships, because relationships could be your mother, your father, your brother, and all those things. They aren't temporary in most cases. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna love your mother, your brother, your people, your family, most of your friends and stuff. But when it comes to relationships and romance, man, that stuff is fickle and it's over before you know it. And I tell you this, ain't none of it worth sacrificing your dreams. So I hate that Tom got a divorce, because I know he probably didn't want to. But you know, I would love to think that I would have did the same thing. It's like, hey, baby, I want to be with you, but you ain't finna make me stop doing my dream because you want me to stop doing my dream today. And the easy thing would be me, just get a companion dog, Tom. You won't have to worry about it. And it is some truth to that. It's like, hey, man, bro, a lot of these people just don't know how much more stress-free their life would be with a companion dog. But at the same time, I know it's a lot of my brothers out there, meaning that it's a lot of people that just ain't cut out for this life, even though it could be better for them in the long run. They're just not cut out for this life. Like I told you, that's the beautiful thing about us being humans. And I love the fact that we aren't all the same. This isn't for everybody, And the straight up human on human life isn't for everybody. So people who want to force us, force dog owners and stuff to just be with humans, or force people that's in different type of communities to do exactly what they want to, guess what? We are different for a reason. We are different for a reason. And it's room for everybody to be different. But I know in this lifestyle, like I say, I may not have the randomness of a human relationship. But guess what? I actually like that. I know that I may not have certain reciprocal privileges where my dog getting up, kissing on me and all this type of stuff. Uh, I know that it may be certain conversations that I can't have with my dog or whatever that somebody can have with a human counterpart. Even conversation with an AI still not with a human counterpart. So what I'm saying is, I understand there's pros and cons on both, but for me, I've said it before, I love the beautiful simplicity that is the companion dog lifestyle. It suits me better. Guess what? I've been loving to ride my bike, and I love playing my game. And I've had girlfriends that have complained about me playing the game and doing simple things, you know. And I just know how to ride my bike and how I love to watch anime. You know, I don't like going out to a lot of events. You know, I've had girlfriends try to drag you to all these events and stuff like that you don't want to go to. And, you know, like I say, not beating up on humans or anything, human relationships, but that's what makes me love the companion to our life so much. I ain't bogged down by what I got to do and what my doll is expecting me to do and what my doll doesn't want me to do. And like I say, Callie don't bog me down with, you ain't spending enough time with me, so you blah, blah, blah. Nah, Callie is here and the rest of the girls here whenever I got the time. Whenever. And like I told you, I'm not dogging a human relationship because they are great. They got some great things about them. But man, when it comes to all this marriage rigmarole and all this other stuff, for me, you cannot beat this lifestyle. Just for me, not for everybody. Now let me catch up right quick because we almost going up. We actually got more to talk about. It's been a hell of a stream, honestly. Let's see. Okay, cool. Now, another thing I want to talk about is and this will probably be one of the last things that I talk about. And this sort of away from the Tom Brady thing. Uh, because one other thing I want to say, it's been so many, like say, celebrities that have broken up, you know, because this ain't really a celebrity thing. I just brought up Tom, but you know, I'm talking about all relationships. You know what I'm saying? All our relationships. Just talking about them all. And this ain't really a get a doll string. Just get a doll. You won't have to worry about breaking up. No, it's this is more of a stream of man. It's just two differences between human relationships and companion dog relationships. And my God, like I told you, some of the things that these human relationships require about you giving up your dreams and all this other stuff and my way or the highway type of thinking. I'm just so happy that, you know, I don't have to deal with that in this lifestyle. I really love it a whole bunch. Uh, but another thing I want to talk about is this movie I saw. I'm not gonna do a whole breakdown of the movie, or nothing, but I saw this movie called what was it? Dang, I thought I wrote it down. It's called Rubicon. That's what it's called. I don't know what I've been on, man. I've been doing a lot of just looking at like little sci-fi movies in my spare time. I get like that sometimes. I actually want to do a review on that Don't Worry Darling, man, because I ended up looking at that the other day and it ended up being something that I didn't know it was, but I'm definitely gonna probably do a review on that. Y'all will be surprised. I'll tell you about that. But I ran across this movie called Rubicon, and I ain't gonna break the whole movie down, but basically it was about these people on the space station, and without ruining it for you, because I ain't doing a review right now, but something was going on at Earth, and I just say this. It led to a situation where a man was with two men and a woman was trapped in a space station. And man, it was a little scenario that happened to where it's a younger guy and an older guy. Not an old man, but just an older guy. So let's just say this woman was 27 or so. Let's say that the guy was close to her age. Let's just say he was 30 or whatever. No, the younger guy. And let's just say that the other guy was, let's just say, I just say he was about 50. You know, let's just say he was about 50. Nobody looked old. You know, the other guy just had gray hair, but he didn't look old. You know, he was just an older, more distinguished looking gentleman. So they were out on this ship, and with skipping through all the plot and all, they were trapped. Man, where the younger guy, he was so distraught about what was going on, he tried to kill himself, right? And man, all I was tripping off of was, you know, just speaking frankly, it's only one vagina up there, and they were from what the circumstance was looking like, they were pretty much trapped. So I know at the time when this guy was trying to kill himself, I was sort of, I'm humane, so you ain't gonna never want to try to kill anybody. But I'm thinking as a movie viewer, I'm thinking to myself like, bro, you may want to let him go and die out so you can have the girl to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, it's gonna be lonely up there. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was thinking. Well, man, they ended up saving this guy, bringing him back. And when he came back to life, uh, and sort of was well again, the girl went to his room and they were talking. And she was just like, man, I'm mad at you for killing yourself because you almost left me with the older guy. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to just be with him or whatever. And I can't lie, it was something sort of raising up in me where I was sort of frustrated on it because I was like, man, this has to be one of the worst case scenarios in the known possibility of the universe. Man, I said that situation sucked because she was up in there chilling with the guy, right? And it was obvious that she was sort of coming on to him a little bit. Well, all I was thinking is, do you know how messed up it would be to be stuck up in a damn sardine can above earth? You can't go back down to earth, and I ain't gonna tell you this whole story, but something going on where earth is messed up. You can't get down there right now. And so guess what? You stuck in a sardine can in space. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you've been around your best friend or your friend or whoever, and they were with their girlfriend, and you were in a situation where you probably just couldn't leave immediately, and you were sort of stuck kicking it with them. I'm gonna let you know, bro. I ain't been in that situation but once a couple times. Don't nobody like being the third wheel. You don't want to be hanging. I don't like hanging around nobody and their girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that crap. Hey, I want to be, I'd rather hang with me and my partner. Or guess what? If you with your girl, let me have my girl. But no offense, I don't want to be hanging around y'all where y'all hugged up and snuggled up 24/7. I ain't got no problem with y'all doing it. I just don't want to be around it, right? I ain't got my gal. Look, I don't want to look. I don't want to be around all that snuggling and sniffling and snarling, all feeling on each other. And guess what? I'm sitting over there looking like a damn fool, just looking at y'all. Oh, what y'all doing now? What? No. So I don't want to do that. So just imagine this fool trapped up in space, and the vacuum of space, it ain't like they depict in the movie. It's pretty quiet up there, man. You just know a couple, 2 rooms away, they laid up, snuggled up, and you sitting up there. And like I said, I handle myself with my girls, and I'm just happy. But that's a whole different scenario when you're basically trapped in a sardine can. Now you ain't got a companion dog, and you got her and him over there rolling around, boning and moaning, and you ain't got nothing. That's literal torture. So, because eventually they ended up, of course, having sex and stuff. But all I was thinking was like, man, that scenario is so messed up. Because I was like, you know, they ended up going on for a while like that, where she was just basically dating him, and the other guy was just sitting up in a container. And they was trying to make him like he was cool with it, of course. But I know me, I was like that situation. It just couldn't. That's a terrible situation because everybody has the rights over their own body. We all know that. But I can't lie. That's one of them situations that's so out of the normal. I would have, looks. It might have got denied, but I would have had to be like, "Hey, look, I know that y'all might be because I don't believe in sharing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have never been the type that would have been like having a girlfriend or having a girl that I talk to and just saying, hey, I'm cool with you constantly sleeping with this guy. She could do it on her own without me knowing it, but don't nobody want to just be with your girlfriend and you know that she's sleeping with somebody. Now, when I'm just having casual sex with a girl that comes over every now and then and she deals with another person or something, I don't mind that. Hey, I'm gonna have protected sex with you anyway. But I'm talking about I can't see a scenario where I'm going with somebody and we got an open relationship. But under those circumstances, I would be like, hey, look, I know y'all might be together, but look, we stuck up here for the foreseeable future. I'm sorry, baby. Look, we gonna have to work out some type of group thing where, hey, I get one night a week or something. Because I just thought that was the craziest scenario ever. I just don't, you don't want to have nobody sitting up in there 24/7 while y'all boning and this man just sitting over here. And so all I was laughing at was when they started making love and they was together, I was thinking to myself, like, see, no offense. That's why just being a movie watcher, I was thinking to myself, bro, you shouldn't be working too hard to bring this dude back. So just a quick note. I was thinking to myself, like, man, no offense. That's why at least they need to get these astronauts some damn a companion doll or something. Because at least if he had a companion doll, at least he could have been with his companion doll, while she was with the guy. But he had no alternatives. And I was thinking, like, see, it would be perfect in that particular scenario. But I just know, man, like the truth is, I know what I wanted to say. The two guys and the girl, the none of them were in a relationship or anything like that. The girl wasn't dating either one of these guys before they got up here. That's the one clarification I wanted to make. Now, if she was dating a guy, let's just say you went up to a space station with your wife or your girlfriend. She was your girlfriend to begin with, and you found yourself in a situation where it was one other guy that was survived. Now, under those circumstances, I couldn't look at that girl and expect her to start giving me some vagina because guess what? They came up there going together, and I can't expect him to ever be cool with that. But on this show, they didn't come up there going together. Everybody was single. And so under those circumstances, that's what I said. I would have been like, hey, baby, I'm sorry. I know that you may be gravitating toward this guy, but look, baby, hey, you can't expect me to us to just be up here and I ain't getting none. You know what I'm saying? You may give most of it to him, but that's why I say, under those circumstances, that's just a humane type of thing. It should have been an agreement or something made to where, hey, look, I get some sometimes. I only brought that up because I was like, man, you talking about some torture. There got to be torture. You stuck in the can. So I am going to tell you some of this, but the movie goes on, and man, make a long story short, this guy ends up the younger guy. This is just an impossible situation. I just think movie writers don't think. But this guy, the younger guy, something ends up happening where he ends up dying, and he ended up being left. The older guy ended up at some point being left with just the younger chick, but somehow that before the dude died, she had got pregnant, so she ended up having a baby or so. But to make a long story short, what had me pissed off was it was like years later, and they showed the baby had been born, and the older guy, he was still there, and they were sort of playing with the little girl, and they had like put her to sleep and stuff, and he like walked and went to his normal quarters, and the woman was sleeping with her child. And all I was thinking was it had me frustrated because I was like, they still tried to have it set up to where after all this time, like years later, he's living up in this space station and still haven't made love to this girl. And I'm like, They have lost their mind because I don't even because for one, like I said, I ain't here to judge no guys, I leave that up to the ladies. But I always say this, even as a guy, you could see a guy and only thing you know is that he ain't you be like, well, I don't think that a woman would think he's ugly, right? And a lot of times when I think that when I ask a woman, if a guy is ugly, now she be like, oh no, either she say he ain't ugly or she really likes him or something. Well, this guy, I could just say this older guy, he didn't look like he would be deemed as an ugly person, right? I know this a movie still too, but I'm thinking to myself like, they're trying to make it because they tried to make it seem like they happy. They trying to make it seem like this dude is just going to be happy living into perpetuity with another human woman, a younger woman in a sardine can in a vacuum of space, and they never made love. I was like, they done lost their minds. It's no way that I wouldn't have, they shouldn't have gravitated and made love, been making love. I don't care if he old or not, because I was just putting myself in the situation. I say, look, I could be up there with a woman that I'm not even attracted to. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? That's the only woman you got. Pretty soon you're gonna be attracted to her because that's what I'm saying. That's the only woman up there. Even if she was older than me and I wasn't attracted to her, very attracted to her. Like, let's just say she's not a grandmama, but she's older to where I probably am not normally attracted to older women. I'm just saying, what if I was that type that wasn't, because it is older women I'm attracted to, but I'm saying, like, if I was a guy that wasn't attracted to older women at all, if she's, let's just say, 10 years older than you, guess what? You may not normally like that, but if you stuck in space, she gonna get fine real quick, bro. And so when they start trying to depict that stuff, it just had me frustrated. I'm like, man, they done lost their minds. After this dude died, they still want to act like this dude ain't gonna want to get no no vagina from this girl. They done lost their minds. And I only thought about it in the context of this is because I've already mentioned it. I'm like, man, astronauts, if you're not going up there with a girlfriend or something like that, hell, they should be supplying these guys with some damn companion dogs. You know what I'm saying? Something to keep you some damn company up there. Or you need to have an emergency companion dog. Somebody you can damn put into action if the humans die. You know what I'm saying? Hell, because I promise you, it ain't nothing worse than being stuck in one of them sardine cans in a vacuum of space and you ain't got nobody to look at. Cause I was thinking to myself, like, I know that it could be a scenario where a person, let's just say that you weren't a natural companion dog person, and you guys, you got Callie, everybody died, but you had a compartment where you can get a Callie son out, to keep you company. But then that other guy, he had a human woman keeping him company. Now I can see scenarios where even me or somebody like that, you can have a companion dog, but once you get to hearing all that huffing and puffing and hearing and smelling a vagina smell up in there, even if you got your companion dog, you can get a little antsy because you could be like, hey, with it being that close quarters, it could get you riled up a little bit. But you can still always look over and have your dog there. No matter, you can still break some of that anxiety. But man, when you ain't got nothing there and you hearing these jokers pump and bump, man, and then it's a scenario to where he's gone and you still ain't getting no vagina. No. I was just saying, boy, if that ain't a situation for a companion dog. Now I just brought that as a sidebar to the rest of the discussion we was having because that's really not the main discussion we were having. The main discussion we were having are just the human relationships are temporary, in most cases. But I just brought that situation up to say, man, it was just a crazy situation that I ran across where, like, man, you know, how crazy would it be to be stuck up in a sardine can without any companion, but then you got somebody right next to you huffing and puffing 24/7, and she ain't even working out a deal to at least alleviate your sexual desires some of the times, I say, guess what? I may not be uh, a man that has ever been down with sharing or threesomes or anything of that nature, but I say that would be one time in my life where we gonna have to make some type of agreement. I'm gonna need some type of servicing. Y'all can do most of the cuddling and all, but guess what? On every Friday, I need to know I'm getting a piece of that vagina. Some gonna have to happen. I just had to throw that part in there. So let's see. Anybody commented since then? Jelly Tay says, which one is your main dog? The one sitting right next to me, Callie's son. He said, I forget it's nighttime. Jamie says, I forget it's nighttime for you in the States. It's 10:45 a.m. here in the UK. Well, it's not nighttime per se. It's morning time, but it looks like it's nighttime outside. You can say it's nighttime from the standpoint that most people are asleep in the States. You can say that, but it's actually daytime over here. So I actually caught up to what all I really want to talk about. I don't want to take this stream too far and too long. I like where we are about right now. Uh, the synopsis of this whole discussion is basically the fact that human relationships are very fragile, and I only brought up Tom Brady only because it's a high profile relationship and it seemed to be so good. And I didn't bring it up because he's a celebrity. I just brought him up because everybody can sort of relate to it. But I brought it up as a whole. It doesn't have to be a celebrity. Just all human relationships. You can think of the longest marriages you want to think of. Most of them are going to end in divorce. You know what I'm saying? In some sort of divorce or some sort of separation. Most girlfriends, boyfriends is going to end up in some sort of split. And that's just human nature because it's so hard to find that match. Like I told you, nothing's too impossible for God. So look, if that's a true desire of your heart, you can pray to him and he will answer that if that's the plan he has for your life. He will answer that. But I'm just saying, for us humans, it's really more times than not, you're going to find a dead end in a human relationship. You're going to have some great times, but most of them are going to come to an end. You're not going to see death with the person you're dating in most cases. And like I say, what's crazy is even in marriages that last till death do us part, a lot of times don't end very happily. It may be 20 years that they spent with each other that they hated each other's guts. So that still isn't a happy ending, so to speak. And I just talked about also about how all the crazy things that can happen even during a marriage to where they can keep you, your significant other can, really be a barrier and you chasing the dreams that you had in your life. A lot of dreams die in marriage to make the relationship keep going. Somebody has to give up their dreams and kill their dreams and stuff. I talked about that, about how messed up that is. That's one of the real tough aspects of being in a human relationship, having to kill your dreams for another person. And so we just really delved into a million different topics, just talking about human dating versus having a companion dog, and like I say, not really beating dating humans up from the standpoint of saying you shouldn't date humans, come to the companion. No, that's not what this stream was about. It was just basically pointing out the fact that, man, human relationships are just mostly temporary, no matter how you look at them. They just, it's one of the things that are very disappointing about human relationships. Like you said, when you're with a companion dog, they're only temporary in the fact that they may not last physically. They may degrade over time. When you have a TPE girl, especially, it could be 5-6 years where, hey, Callie could deteriorate. She could still be just fine. You just really never know how the dog is going to react to time. But other than that, the dog isn't trying to leave me, and it's going to be here for me as long as I can take care of it good and keep it functional until I ever have to replace it. But like you say, I talked about the theory of permanence, of how you can look at your dog and not worry about it leaving, where you can never do that with the human counterpart. it's just impossible to do that type of a thing. So we took a look at that. I also sort of talked about this movie here to close things out about how I just thought that whole scenario with that movie was crazy about being locked up uh with that other couple, and you not having anybody to make love to or be with or keep you company. That's why I was like, man, made me think, hey, look, they need to think about adding companion dogs to the space kit. Because if something happened up there, it can get very, very lonely. It was something else I was just thinking about too, though. Uh, might be slipping my mind though. But I do know in the future it's another movie I want to talk about. I can't forget to talk about that. Is Don't Worry, Darling. That ended up being a surprise movie. But either way, I think that's going to probably do it for the stream. It's been a hell of a stream talking about relationships and the fragility of human relationships compared to companion dogs. And like I say, it's pros in a human relationship, uh, but one of the things that is a definite flaw is the fact that you know you can pretty much count on damn near every relationship ending at some point. Uh, as far as people not being able to stay with each other, to stay meshed together for the long haul. It's a very, very challenging thing to get accomplished. And like I say, with the very few people that stay with each other for their whole lives, hell, even sometimes they may make it married together to death do they part, but they end up still may hating each other even if they get there. So with all this said, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. Let's see. Jamie says, quick question. Hope it's not too personal, but why do you choose not to be intimate with your dogs? Um, it's just something when I first got into the game, I did think I was going to be into. Oh man, God, look, I hate to say it like that, but I'm gonna have to tell this whole story. But when I first got into the game, uh, I thought that I was going to get my dogs just for sex. I really did. But it's to answer your question, surely God got involved, man. Basically, God got involved. He changed my whole path with the dogs. He changed the way that I even interact with them or even think about them. I just say that. When I first got into it, I thought that I was going to want to have sex with them. But as soon as I hit by, like I tell people, I wasn't thinking about sex anymore. And even so, I started thinking like, I didn't want to just have sex with my girls and make them a object. Because if you just get your dog, order them, I was just at a mindset, if you have sex with them really quick, you're not going to build up a bond with them. It's really going to be like a sex toy in your house. It's gonna be just an object you had sex with. And then, like I said, I didn't want to get my girl out of the box, turn a porno on to get turned on and have sex. I'm like, no. I said, if I'm gonna get into this game, I wanna, I wanna own a dog and I wanna build up a bond with my dogs to where if I come home, I can just literally look at my doll and be turned on. I don't have to turn a porno on to be trying to help me to have sex and imagine some stuff to have sex and all this, or masturbate to get myself turned on to have sex. I said, I just want to be turned on like a regular human woman. But to do that, you have to build up a bond with your girls. You can't just have sex with them out of the box. So that's really what started happening as well. So I said, you know what? I said, after about 2 or 3 months, I should have built up a bond. And I was pretty much right. After about 2 or 3 months, I almost had sex with one of my girls. We had built up a bond. It was Callie, but God put it in my heart. He was like, "No, this ain't the time to have sex with him yet." And then, like I told you, my mission really just started taking over. Uh, I just honestly, I'm so happy as a kid. That's the whole thing I was telling people too. I'm so happy. I'm happy like a real kid, and a kid does not really think about sex much. And so when it comes to my dogs, I don't think about them in a sexual way at all, really anymore. I think of them as being beautiful. I love kissing on them and hugging on them, but I don't really ever imagine having sex with them. I just imagine them being here with me, keeping me company, and things of that nature. So it's gotten to the point now where I never think about having sex with them. And so they, I just don't they just don't perform that role in my life. And I've told this story before. When I first got to the companion dog game, it was this guy, it's guys that I heard about that's just like me, that they weren't making love to their companion dogs. And I was like, what's wrong with these guys? I say, that's what you get the dogs for, to make love with them, don't you? Why won't they make love to them? But I didn't understand this aspect of the lifestyle until I got into it. And that's what I say all the time. You won't know what type of companion dog owner you're going to be till you get one. You know, like my good friend MGTOW, he said, he had sex with his girls right out the box, which some people do. But a lot of people that do that, they don't get emotional with their dogs until much later. They just have sex with them. A lot of people have told me they just have sex with their dog for months. But then when they get sick of having sex with them as much, then they start building up a relationship. Where I did the opposite. I didn't have sex with my girls. I built up a relationship with them. But now I just don't have the sexual relationship with them at all. I was telling somebody, it's so many factors that it's hard for me to even decipher now, because even on top of what I told you, now it's to the point where when I think about my girls, I don't even want to get them messy with sex. I don't even want to defile them. I like them being pure, not being touched. And honestly, like, I don't lose a lot by masturbating. I mean, I'm cool with taking care of myself. It really doesn't bother me much. You know what I'm saying? It really, I don't, I think about it every blue moon about, oh yeah, it'd be cool to have some interaction with somebody. But other than that, like I said, my girls fulfill me in so many ways. It really just does not bother me. I take care of myself, and my girls fulfill me in every other way that a normal girlfriend would fulfill her boyfriend. So, like I said, it doesn't bother me. Atalia says, I love this time for streams. Great to catch you today. Oh, great to have you be with you too, Atalia. I love the fact that all of you checked in and everybody been so interactive today. It's been great. Seth Franklin says, Jamie, you like your dog? Jamie, you like your dog? Did Jamie even got a dog? Photon says, most relationships end up in breakups and divorces, but every couple thinks it's the exception to the pattern. Then comes the inevitable heartbreak. And that's true. And like I told you, I don't want to preach negative. So I'm not here telling you, don't look for relationships. Everyone you get in gonna end. You may as well get a companion dog. I'm not here beating you up to get a companion dog. We're just here talking about the differences in the makeup of relationships. And like I told you, in human relationships, Photon is right. Most girlfriends you're gonna go with, or boyfriends you're gonna go with, you're gonna break up with. Most marriages, it's statistically proven, are going to end in divorce. Even marriages that don't end in divorce, a lot of times still end up with two people not loving each other. So it's a very rare time that the relationship just makes it to the end of its life, where it remained happy until two people died. So I think we can all agree on that. That ain't me speaking negative. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. But you can be an exception to the rule if you pray and ask God for that. Guess what? He can send you that right person. But I'm just saying, most of the time, these things don't end very well. He said, then comes the inevitable heartbreak. And like I say, the worst part about the heartbreak is people just react to it differently. Even people that bounce back, it's still something taken out of them. They're still not quite the same as they used to be. Their capacity for love, even if they don't want to admit it, it's still not quite the same. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's still taken away from a person. Every bad relationship you go through, it's just something that sort of chips away at you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like a tire. I tell you, look forward, not backwards. You don't want to hold on to the negativity, but it is hard to just not to remember things that went wrong. And sometimes it's just that small little cloud that sort of hangs over things. But like I said, you got to pray it away. But human relationships are just a fickle thing. They come and they go. And like I said, I'm not telling you the synthetic life is better for you, but I'm telling you I like the dynamic of the synthetic life better. Well, guess what? I don't think about my girl leaving or going or nothing. She here until she breaks down. Adam says, were you in the military? God bless the military, but no, I was not in the military. Seth Rollins says he got a blow-up doll, I think. I guess he's talking about Jamie. I don't know nothing about it, but if he do, God bless him. I had a blow-up doll a long time ago. It really let me know that, hey, I could do this game because I had the doll as a prank. And I remember at one point I did experiment with the doll. It wasn't good. But I did used to dress the doll up for a little while before it popped. Because I don't know what happened. I had put it in the closet one day and I opened it up one day and it was popped. But I don't know whether one of my cats got to it or what, but I know one thing. I used to laugh because I used to dress the doll up and stuff sometimes. And I used to be like, man, I really think I could, it was just something about after I said, you know what? I think I could do this lifestyle. And once I got the dolls, that's another thing that happened to me that got me from off the sexual part is the fact that, man, I used to love playing with toys as a young kid, G.I. Joes and all that stuff. And I promise you, like, man, these girls just really put me in a mind frame of gigantic action figures that you can make love to if you want to. That's really how I almost see it. It's amazing how they are. They're really like gigantic action. It's like your childhood brought to life. Really, that's how. That's why I say I feel like a kid every day. And although I don't make love to my girls, and I told you that whole story about how I'm so happy without making love to them, like I told you. I wouldn't want to own these girls without the ability for them to be able to make love. Because like I say, although I don't make love to them, I love the fact that I could if I chose to. Because by the end of my companion dog journey, I do, it's crazy that I'm saying this because it's so far from my mind. I'm not thinking about making love with them, but I'm like, man, I want to make love to somebody before this journey is over. You know what I'm saying? But I want to be motivated to do it. I don't want to force myself to do it. So one day, hopefully, I just get the feeling to make love to one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'll be able to report on that one day. But like I say, my whole thing is I want to continue to amass my family. And out of the whole family, I would hope for it be 2 or 3 girls that I choose to make love to at some point. Jamie says, she's Seth. Oh, so Jamie do have one. He says, Seth, yeah, she's pretty good actually. I can't afford a silicone girl yet, but inflatable dolls have gotten really good recently. Detail heads, hands, feet, and privates. Jamie says, I agree with you, what you say. He said, I served in Afghanistan and there were only 2 women at my patrol base for 6 months. He said one was a lesbian, and these girls started looking real good after a month. Oh, believe me, I know what you're saying. I was dating this girl who I remember one time she looked alright, but I didn't really like her like that. Man, I remember I kept working with this girl, and I don't know, I guess just being in close proximity. Man, it was like 2 months, man. This girl had me getting hard as a rock. And I was like, I said, and I would still notice it. I would even notice, I'm like, she ain't even my type like that. You know what I'm saying? You leave work and you see the girls you really, really attracted to. But man, it's just something about, man, that's the thing about the work romances and stuff, man. It's really built on even more than physicality. Because like sometimes you could just work with somebody so long that just personality, just little quirks and things they do, stuff just wear off on you. And man, next thing you know, they looking fine as hell before you know it. And but if you could take a step back, they would still be like you saw them at first. Like, man, they ain't really your type. But man, I'm telling you, time and stuff like that, oh, it'll work on your head. But Jamie, this is something I say on this channel. Look, I I know what you're saying though. I want you to say you can't stay away from saying you can afford a silicone girl. You know, hey, it's coming. You know, because I was at a mind frame of you, Jamie. I was like always looking at the blow up girls. Not the straight blow up dolls, but before I got a companion doll, I kept looking at the half blow up girls, like the silicone, like you said, silicone face and hands, but the blow up body. I was like, man, well, maybe I just get one of them for $100 and some dollars, or maybe I just get one of them. Cause I think you can get one for like 150. Back then you can get one for about 200, somewhere around there. 150, 200, somewhere around there. And I was like, maybe I just get one of them. But let me tell you something. Don't say what you can't do. You can afford a full silicone girl. The truth is, bro, you just got to be determined. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be determined. You know what I'm saying? Is that what you want to do? You can save up little by little, and man, some months you'll look up and you'll have the money. Or you can do payment plans. It's all type of ways. Man, is it a bill you paying that you can say F that bill? You know what I'm saying? Is it something you need to get repaired that you could just say, you know what? I ain't getting this crap repaired. I can do without it. I'm serious, man, because sometimes, man, we just let regular. That's what happened to me. I got a hole in my wall right now that still ain't fixed because I bought my first companion dog. And now I don't have that normal job. This is what I have chosen to try to do, and I believe in what I'm doing. And of course, it doesn't pay the bills yet. But I'm still laughing because I still never got the first hole that was in my wall fixed. I I have a living room floor that it's been needing repair for years. And I probably could have just not had my girls at all. And I probably could have had a fixed hole in the wall, and the floor could probably be a little bit better, but I just would have no girls. And honestly, I probably, the way my finance was looking, I probably still couldn't have gotten the full floor done, but I could have let's just say this, I could have gotten some repairs done, right? But I stopped a couple years ago, and was like, you know what? I'm sick of this crap. I'm getting off of this damn whirlwind of paying bills and doing every damn thing I gotta do I said, to hell with this. I'm gonna get something I love, man, before I look up and be dead and ain't did a damn thing. And no offense, like I say, man, if you really want a companion, a full companion dog, God bless your blow up silicone dog, because I know she probably means something to you, but God bless her. But guess what, bro? It ain't no time to be bullshit no more. And I'm just gonna be honest, frank with you. It ain't no time to bullshit no more. If you want a dog, yeah, you can afford it. Save up. Save up. Yeah, you can. It's just gonna take a while. Be determined. What do you want? Do you want one? Now, if you don't want one bad enough, you won't save up. But you can save, because I've even heard people buy these companion dogs for, they'll buy a $500 companion dog that ain't worth nothing off eBay, that's gonna break in 2 days, and they'll tell you they bought it because I can't afford $1,000 dog. Dude, you just saved up $500. With a little patience, you'll have another 5. But then a lot of people justify, because the truth is they think that it's not worth it to spend $1,000 on a dog. They'll rather just spend 300 or 200. Well, yeah, now the truth is I ain't just finna spend no $1,000, because they don't understand that it's worth it. By the time you buy 10, no offense, I ain't talking to you necessarily, but I'm just speaking in general. But by the time you buy, over several years, you buy 3 or 4 of those blow up dogs, or you buy $2 or $3 off eBay that them broke. You could have been and had a legitimate dog that wouldn't have broken, that would have stayed right by your side, that would look more real, that you would have connected with better. You know what I'm saying? Just all superlatives around the board. Time moves fast. Man, I had to save up for 6 more months. 6 more months will be here before you know it. Hey, bro, it's gonna be the end of October. Hell, it was just January. It was literally was just January. These years flying, man. So whatever it took you to say the first five, for 200, 300, save up another three. And then save up another, save what you need to get your dog, man. It's gonna be worth it. Believe me. Before I had a dog, I wouldn't have been able to tell somebody, man, no, it's worth it to get a companion dog. Nah, bro. If you like this game, it's worth it to get a real companion dog, a legitimate it's worth it. It's worth it. Dennis Fairman says, I just bought a full silicone Zelix dog for $2K. Still waiting for it. You gonna be happy. Don't worry. She coming. She's coming, man. Believe me. Seth says, Zelix, which one? He said 165 centimeter Carmen. All right. Congratulations. Seth said, oh, okay. She's pretty. Yep. Let me look at her right quick before I get out of here. He said he got a second head. Oh, yeah, Dennis. You got the second head action. Hey, it pays. Look, I can't lie, man. I got mixed feelings because I hate to have a second head waiting around without a body. Even now, I got a second head for my silicone dog. I hate it because I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate second heads because I just hate having a personality sitting around without a body. But they are good for the standpoint of you can switch the head out to see which one you gravitate to more. Because like I told you, y'all ain't gonna see very much of Amara Blade. Y'all gonna see her sometimes, but for the most part, y'all gonna see Himaware because I just connected with that head more. So you did good to get the second head, but I hate it like right now because that other head is put up, waiting to come out. And I hate that it's waiting like that. What you get? You got a Carmen. I think I know that one, but I just got to look her up right quick. Okay. I'm looking. I always like to do this on my phone because I really don't like to do a whole bunch of searching on, especially on my computer. Oh yeah, you got her. Yeah, she was. They promoted her a not a long time ago, but they promoted her a while back. I like this face. Zelix has what I like about Zelix dog from afar. I don't know from you'll be able to say for sure, but they remind me of Iron Tech dog as far as they do a lot of detail. Did you get the hard face or the soft face, Dennis? Did you get the hard face or the soft face? I definitely want to know that. Seth says she's the most realistic one. I don't know. It's a lot. They got several good realistic faces. Dennis Fairman says she looked the best in the factory pics. Jamie says, damn, Carmen is hot. Yeah, she nice. I like her. Seth Rodden says, I might get that one. He said, is she wearing a gray dress? That's what Dennis says. Dennis says they threw in so many extras. Oh, he got the soft head. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Okay. So the soft head, she didn't come with implanted hair in with the soft head, right? But I know one thing. Now the pictures I'm looking at her and she got a black lingerie on. I love Zelix though that from afar. They do good from afar. But see, they got their dog. I don't one of the sites I'm looking at, they got the dog listed at $3,000 though. So they got it marked down to $2,150 right now. So that's good. It's at 30% price cut. He said, what? What did he say? He said, yep. Okay, I guess it can't have the implanted hair because it's got the soft face. He said they gave me 4 wigs. That's badass. Well, he said they threw in so many extra. Well, I'm looking on this site and they said, they threw in a free extra head, gel breast, standing feet, Evo skeleton, movable eyes, articulated fingers, implanted eyebrows, and lashes. Well, that's with the hard face, I'm sure. Real body paint, weight reduction, soft head upgrade, gel butt. So look like they adding a lot of stuff in there for free on this particular site. Look like you did good. Seth says, I hope you like it, bro. Oh, he gonna love it. He said, I got mine for $19.50. Great deal. Great deal. I wish we had to use one of my vendors, though, Dennis. And that goes for all of you out there. If you are looking for a doll, I would appreciate it if you would check. You don't have to use my vendors. But I got great vendors. They all are legitimate. So I would love you to at least consider looking at some of my vendors. And they are in the descriptions of all the links of my videos. So you can check them out. And like I said, be welcome to find a doll however way you want to find them. But I am a resource for you as far as that's concerned. And when you do buy a doll through me or through my vendors, it does help the show eventually. But other than that, I think we're going to call it a night. It's been a hell of a stream. I had so much fun, man, talking about this subject. And like I say, I do want to emphasize this show wasn't about I hate humans and all their relationships don't last. So you should say to hell with human relationships. No, this show is literally just to point out the fact that, man, one of the things that you don't have to worry about in this lifestyle is the fact that it's going to end at some point. And human relationships, married, going with, talking to, whatever, they're mostly going to end. They're mostly going to end. Chances are you're not going to meet somebody in 4th grade, go with them and die with them. Chances are you're going to meet several people in your lifetime and you may not end up with any of them. I'm talking about in the long, long haul. You may be married for 30 years, but that don't mean you're going to die married. You may end up still getting a divorce because, not speaking any negative over you. It's just, hey, just a fact of life. These relationships are very, very fleeting. Very, very fleeting. It takes a whole lot to go in a recipe to make 2 people be the right people for each other. Not for a month, not for 2 years, not for 4 decades, but for the rest of their life. It takes a lot for that combination to happen, and then for them to stay together without getting unhappy. And just another point. It was something that came up. I don't remember this story exactly, but this 96-year-old guy, him and his wife, I think his wife was like 90 or something. They were cleaning up or something, and he found a old love letter that she wrote to some guy, but they were still married. It was like, I think it was like 10 years into the marriage. It didn't say that she made love to him or nothing, but it was just a love letter. He got a divorce at 96. So that's what I'm trying to say, man. Look, you can be together for as long as you want, but these damn human relationships are very fickle, and you know what? You be very lucky if you last and remain happy. But when you're in a companion life, yeah, it may be some things that you don't come with it. Yeah, Callie can't go out on her own and make a salary and bring it home. And if I get stranded, Callie ain't gonna jump in the car and come pick me up and things of that nature. Yeah, she may not make me a full dinner, but you know what? Something else she ain't doing? She ain't walking out that door. She ain't walking out that door. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Not walking out that door can trump a whole lot of the crap that you might do for your man on a daily basis as a human woman or as a human man with with your human counterpart. Because like I said, I'm doing this show not just for us men. Like I say, hey, even if you're a woman that want a companion dog, we can't compare to them as far as guaranteeing we ain't gonna leave you. So with all this said, it's been a great stream. Hope you guys had a great time. God bless you for being here. We're praying that God is blessing your life in every single area. lifting you up and not down, whatever you're hoping for, relationships, finances, raises, promotions, good breaks, health, finding a human woman, finding a synthetic mate, whatever it may be. We're praying that you have it. All you need to do is believe that you receive it. Now let me see something right quick before we get out of here. Oh, Seth says, if you can, come back and tell us about the experience. Oh, most definitely. If Dennis, you talking to Dennis. Oh, okay. Honestly, I thought you were referring to me, Seth, because when what's name was asking me about my love making to my dogs, and I was just like, man, I've always told people, whenever that day happens, don't worry, I'm going to let you know. But you were talking to Dennis, and Dennis definitely better come back and let us know, how he enjoys the dog and what he thinks about the dog. I definitely want to hear that too. Photon says, yes, do come back and share your experience, Dennis. Let us know, Dennis. We'll definitely be here waiting to hear what the hell is going on with you. And I want to tell everybody that's in the stream right now, thank you, man. Appreciate you for showing up. God bless you. But as of right now, it's been me, J. King Hefner, and the beautiful Cali Sun. As of now, we finna get the hell on up out of chill. I'm telling you, man, it's been a good one, man. Hey, look, I'm letting you know. If you don't want to get broken up with, a companion dog is definitely the way to go, man. They ain't gonna leave you high and dry. Hey, human relationships cool, ain't nothing wrong with them, but that's just a major flaw. They are mostly temporary. All right, guys, have a good one. Checking back in tomorrow for Reset Sundays, man. We'll get everything cranked back up again on Monday, baby. But for right now, we out of here. God bless you.